What is going on, everybody? Primetime 34. I am your host, Cyrus the Looney, back at it. Hopefully, we're going to have one hell of a lit event. I'm going to be joined by the one and only Mr. Humbledink. Sorry, couldn't get my words out. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, Cyrus. How are you, man? And I'm excited for this Primetime 34 event. We've got two title fights going on today. This is going to be incredible. Should we run them through the card, Cyrus?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So obviously, as you see, top of the bill, we've got BSDT Drivers, current champion after that big win up against Adjust on the last one out. He's going to be stepping forward on his first defense up against the very, very dangerous, been multiple time contender, TD Fadinator. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen him around the scene as a whole. That guy is an absolute savage, making a great run now. I think both guys on 6-fight winning streaks. So top of the card, that's what we've got. And of course, as you mentioned, we also have the PlayStation event that's been put onto this one as well, championship-wise, which is going to be Styles up against Josh Ray. Obviously, Josh Ray being the interim champion after the last time out there, Humble, and Styles coming back now, trying to unify that, seeing if he can stop the current interim champion becoming the champion, which would be a big upset, knowing that Styles has been so dominant for the last couple of years.
100%. You got my teammate Josh Ray right there fighting Styles. It's going to be incredible. I know he's prepared. The KIA boys have been trying to get him prepared for this one. It's going to be a fantastic fight. And what two fantastic title fights we've got at the top end of the bill there. Let's move down the card there, Cyrus.
Yeah, a couple of the ones I'm just going to go through. Obviously the major guys that I know from the Xbox side especially. One thing in particular, CIA Webcam up against Killer Jake. I think that's going to be an absolutely fantastic match all round. Of course, the Dirty Dave, M-Town's finest. I believe that's on the PlayStation side of things, though, if I'm not mistaken. A couple of other ones, though. Brady up against Chase Me Fam. Humble, if you don't know these two guys, Chase Me Fam's been around for the scene for a very long time with us from the very, very early days. Ups and downs during UFC 4, but really starting to try and put it all together. And Brady's a fantastic test of that. He's a guy that's been around on the UFC 4 scene, whether it be, Primetime, ESFL, many of the other affiliate leagues, and he's been putting in a lot of work making sure his skills are really, really up there. So some exciting ones for myself there, brother. Any ones that stand out to you in particular?
100% Caliber versus Goddamn my pick. That is going to be a fantastic fight right there. Two high-level competitors. Then we go down the card. We got another one of my teammates. I keep saying it, but Notorious versus Kobe. Notorious, I believe he's got a good record in Primetime. I don't know off the top of my head, but he's up against a tough Xbox ex-Xbox competitor in Kobe. That's going to be a fantastic one. But the first fight of the card, we've got Rock Roman versus the Moroccan Lion. This is going to be a banger. Rock Roman, an ESFL or maybe still is an ESFL competitor, and he's going to be going against the Moroccan Lion, the famous Moroccan Lion. If you don't know from YouTube, he does the Moroccan crane kick and some other stuff. He's actually been working on his skills, Cyrus. I fought him a few times. It's not just the crane kick and a few other moves you got to worry about now. You got to worry about some nice boxing. He's been working with Dan the Freeman, so we'll see what the Moroccan Lion's got to offer, but he's got a tough test in Rock Roman, because Rock Roman is no joke.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, brother. We're going to get straight into it. Like you say, the Moroccan Lion, you've seen him around many of the different UFC 4 communities from the Facebook scene. Obviously, I believe he's fighting over in Cage Rage and so on as well in the past there, brother. So I know this guy's like a well-versed opponent, and he always goes with that calf pick, if I'm not mistaken. Like you say, exciting kicks, kind of... he's an exciting character, but... up against a tough opponent, an ex-ESFL competitor. I don't know if he currently is, like you mentioned a moment ago, but to start out the card, no better fight, brother. This one's going to start off with a bit of a bang. I believe it was in middleweight as well.
Yeah, and he's an ex-sparring partner of mine, Rocco, and we used to message each other a lot and spar, so I kind of know a lot of his skill set. And the same with the Moroccan Lion. The Moroccan Lion and me have had a lot of controversy when it comes to fighting each other. So these guys I know very, very well. And if Rock Roman takes... one wrong move here, it could be over, because the high vulnerability moves from the Moroccan Lion, the devastating, the crane kick if he catches you after a lunge is horrible, and the switch kick as well that he uses really well. So this will be an interesting fight to see. You can already see it going for it there, Cyrus.
Yeah, loving the feints to start it out. Nice knee when he was ducking down from Rock Roman. Obviously not liking that. He does have the Dustin Poirier pick, so this man has heavy hands, although seems to be the shorter of the two guys here, Humble, which may play a bit of an advantage if they go in such a kick-heavy routine. Look at that, bro.
That's exactly what I was talking about. He's very good at missed opportunities. He's trying to get you to miss, and one thing he's doing really well is utilizing that space with that that forearm that you can do the break, is it bridge? I can't remember what they call it, but it basically gets you away from your opponent a lot quicker than usual and stops them from throwing punches. Takes you out of that punching range, Cyrus, basically.
Yeah, it's a lovely retreat that can. Oh, sorry, I thought you was about to get clipped. It's a lovely retreat that's maybe a little bit underutilized, but especially when you've got the reach advantage. Lovely combination. Rockman came to play tonight, and the hands are looking pretty quick when he gets the opportunity to rip those combinations.
And this is the issue I've always had fighting the Moroccan line. I don't mind getting hit by that crane kick sometimes. I don't mind getting dropped a few times. The problem is that he constantly goes to throw it, so there's an opportunity there to sidestep it, there's an opportunity there to lunge it, and when you do catch him, you're going to catch him in a high vulnerability move, and if you've got good finishing ability and a good character, you know that you're going to hurt him and like continue that damage, and that's what Rock Roman's looking for right now. A very even fight as we're going into the mid section of the first round.
It really, really is, my man. The combinations from both guys. Moroccan seems to be looking to work that body quite heavily, doing a good job so far with the knees on the inside. The one thing he's doing though is he's throwing a couple of kicks right on the inside of kind of punching range, and I wonder if Poirier is going to be able to capitalize on that with some of the lovely boxing combinations he's been throwing on the inside.
Oh, he catches him there with a head kick, and that's one of the aspects of the Moroccan line that I always find he needs to kind of work on. You shouldn't be throwing them kicks in the punching range, the pocket as we like to call it, but sometimes it turns it into a knee, as we know the crane kicks turn into a knee to the body, which is devastating, and that's kind of the habit I think from Moroccan line. So Rock Roman at the moment trying to find his distance, trying to find his range. He's doing a good job of not getting high vulnerability and kind of just chipping away at the Moroccan line. As he catches him right there, he pushes him back to the fence. Moroccan line with good head movement, Cyrus.
Yeah, lovely work. Lovely combination from Moroccan Lion as well. After it, he had his opponent a little bit gassed after that big flurry and just came back with a perfectly placed shot, Humble, to get him a little bit scared going into the last 30 seconds of this round.
Oh, nice work right there from Poirier, who's going to end this round really strong. At the moment, we're looking at a back and forth contest, and it's just a matter of who can land that high vulnerability shot to hurt their opponent. Moroccan Lion coming forward, hitting him with that push kick to the body. Dustin Poirier saying, "Have one back, my son." And Cyrus, who do you think? Who do you think's top in that round? I can't fathom it.
No, I mean it's a pick 'em. It seriously is 50-50. I'd love to see the statistics. Maybe that'll kind of shine a little bit more light. But in the heat of the moment, these guys both getting big rocks on each other. I really don't know, my man. Maybe with a knockdown, Dustin got it, but he's looking a little bit worse for wear going into the second round. The stamina's very low. His health didn't look fantastic either. Although we can't see Moroccan and where he's at with it, Humble, which is obviously a little bit thing, but he could be looking pretty clean. I don't think he's taken as many missed shots, although there has been a lot of kicks involved.
With the crane kick, one of the issues I have with the crane kicks is the stamina cost for the crane kicks. You can throw 40 around, I counted, and you can still be fine. So I've done the actual research on this before. So the crane kicks, you can throw as many as he wants, really, and all the different stuff. But he is mixing up really well. But Rock Roman, like you said, has got to be wary of that stamina. He's got to be wary of missing, and the lunges strike as well. When you lunge, it doesn't cost any stamina, which is crazy, because you are using a big amount of energy to kind of lunge and stuff.
Lovely work. Yeah, that was a massive kick, man. Caught him massively strong, but the knee on the inside once again, perfectly timed from Moroccan Lion. This man showing that his kicking game, his knees are really on point.
And this is the issue you've got with Rock Roman at the moment. If you're overzealous, if you think to yourself, I've got this guy hurt, I've finally closed the distance, you get close to him and then he throws the crane kick. It's basically a crane kick. All he's doing is pressing the crane kick button. It's changing the crane kick to a knee. So he only has to kind of press that one button, and if you even get just out of range, that's what happens.
Oh my God, the Moroccan Lion with the KO. That's a big one for him, bro. He got tested a lot in that fight. His opponent was definitely a tough game all-round opponent, but the teep kicks, the inside knees and those crane kicks to the face, like you said, with the story of the night, and he gets it in emphatic fashion.
Yeah, he does, and he gets the Korean kick knockout, which will go on his highlight reel and probably on his YouTube channel as well. Over a really tough opponent. I know how good Rock Roman is. Me and him have sparred a lot. Honestly, Rock Roman will be back. He's one of the better competitors we've had come through to the Primetime, and I'm looking forward to seeing him because he's an excellent competitor. But Moroccan Lion's a tricky one. He has beat me a few times with that's just sort of awkward technique, and if you don't get it right, it's over, and that's the problem. If you lunge or move the wrong way, or you sidestep or anything, he just catches you at the end of one of them crane kicks, and it's high vulnerability.
Yeah, it can be devastating, you know, especially when you're going up against somebody that's landing it with as much consistency that Moroccan Lion was. He obviously had it timed out, liked to go to those favoured techniques that he had, and they worked out brilliantly for him. Obviously, on the flip side, Rock Roman maybe getting a little bit frustrated, a couple too many of them getting, you know, landed on the early side of him. But like you said, he's a tough veteran of the game himself, being around the scene for a long time, so we know he's going to be back better than ever, and obviously look to come out in his next one with a big performance. But interesting to see where Moroccan Lion goes from there. That's a big first performance. I believe that's his debut for both gentlemen in Primetime MMA, so I'm sure he's got a lot of things ahead of him. This PlayStation side is hotting up a little bit. Obviously, we're getting more and more guys coming across that have some names within the community, and yeah, I'm really interested to see how they can do going forward into Primetime MMA.
Yeah, 100%. Moroccan Lion now 1-0. Humble Dink 1-0. Interesting. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight.
Bro, that's pretty lit. Okay, I mean, I would not be opposed from calling the fights, I can tell you that. But with an interesting one to call up next, I believe it's two gentlemen also making their Primetime MMA debuts from the PlayStation side of things. iGoat BP up against Stompy Collins. These guys are going to be fighting in light heavyweight. Not always a favored weight class of many, however, it does really sometimes separate the boys from the men in terms of the way that you have to manage your stamina in this one, Humble, and how heavy these gentlemen hit.
100%. This is going to be a banger of a fight, and I do have Rocket Line call me back out. I shouldn't have said anything right there, but I did. But yeah, light heavyweight is interesting. I feel like there's such a difference between middleweight and light heavyweight. It's almost like a different game almost. If you're not very good at like patient fighting, if you're not very good at finding that shot, finding that counter fight on the back foot, etc., it's really hard for people to adjust to fighting at light heavyweight. So this is going to be an interesting fight as we go forward.
Yes, looks like we're getting a short stumpy acrobat calf out of Stompy Collins. He looks like he may be on the smaller end of the light heavyweights, and then across from him looks to be Israel Adesanya from the side of iGoat BP. Wonder if he's actually going to go with the calf pick. They seem to be getting a little bit more popular recently. They're Humble. I've never really got into using them myself. Do you mess with them at all? You know, personally?
Yeah, I did like a bit of a breakdown on some of the calves, and the issue with the calves is they're always really good in one area. So like some calves have ridiculously OP moves, like the Bruce Lee spinning kick to the face,
okay.
The crane kicks. Some of them have really high end boxing, like the powerhouse and different things like that. So they're really good in certain areas. The balanced calves, there's no kind of point in using them because unless you fight another balanced calf. But the issue is the health, the takedown defense, etc., and that's where you've got to use them skills as a fighter and take them down or utilize their weaknesses. But it looks like we're gonna have a striking match right now, and this is gonna be very, very interesting. I do favour Adesanya. It depends on how Collins is going to use his calf though.
Yeah, he a lot of head movement to start him out. You know, maybe just trying to get in his opponent's head, trying to get him to throw something big. Those head movements, they can either set you up for massive success very early, or they can set you, face down on the canvas very quickly, brother. And he has to be careful, especially with the kicking range of Adesanya, not to weave into one of those big head kicks.
100%. And Ben in the chat, I was wondering where you were, man. I thought you were going to be coming on commentary, but welcome to Primetime. This has been a great fight so far. Very distance control fight so far, Cyrus. They're looking for the right range. The both of them are kind of struggling. I'd like to see some feints from both guys, get a reaction, and then kind of fire at the moment. But a lot of missed opportunities. Yeah.
I mean, so far, I like what iGoat is doing. He's staying relatively composed. That was a big missed lead body kick that he went for there, but everything else has seemed to be pretty much on the button. Collins getting a little bit of taunting going there. Being the shorter fighter here, you've got to imagine that maybe pressing forward, taking away the kicking range of iGoat is going to be a smart plan for him if he can continue to keep his hands going.
Yeah, in real life, in simulation, moving that head, you know, the Tyson-style head movement to get inside is a very good idea. Obviously, the leg kicks then open up, the body work can open up for Iglo. But that's exactly why you do it, the head movement. That's exactly it. So if anyone's going for that head, you can catch him with a high vulnerability move. He's doing a good job at the moment of not wasting too much stamina doing it, so he looks like he's kind of mastered it. But I'd like to see him kind of press the action and get into Igor's face.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a lot of success with it. That's a big head kick of his own. I have to say, the biggest moment, of course, was that duck that he had on the head kick a moment ago. That was absolutely massive. If he's able to continue to repeat that, it just makes, you know, your opponent, Igo, going to be a lot more hesitant to throw those head kicks or even the body kicks going forward, although a big check from the man.
Yeah, huge check right there, and I'm sure it is. He's got a really high, I don't know if he's got the steel checks, but beautiful work from checking that kick, and that's going to make him worry. I wonder if he's going to throw more leg kicks. He goes to the body right now. These guys are getting tested, said Bane in the chat. Oh, crane kick, I didn't know you had that. That's what I mean about the calves. Some of these calves have really top-end moves, and, you know, they can throw them when you're not expecting it. 4 minutes into a round and you get caught with a high vulnerability move.
Yeah, I believe he went acrobat, the acrobat calf, kickboxer acrobat. So I think he's going to have a lot of deceptive kicks in his arsenal should he decide to go with them. But he does seem to be taking a lot more of a head movement, boxing sort of approach, which has played out well for him up until this sort of moment where he got a little bit gassed and almost ended up with a head kick coming right his way.
Yeah, the acrobat calf's really good because it does have the Bruce Lee spin kick to the face, as the crane kicks, etc., as the axe kick. But at the same time, the stamina's not the best, so you've got to be careful of using these type of techniques. Because if you use them, you can see the stamina being really low. That can happen right there. Yeah,
Igo taking full advantage of his opponent. Gassing himself out with those big kicks a moment ago. Attack to the body to close out the first round, and that was an interesting one, man. But very, very back and forth from both guys. Interesting approach, I have to say, from Collins over there. Stompy Collins did a great job to start out with the head movement, but like you mentioned with the stamina, that may be coming back to bite him in the butt a little bit with the body kicks and so on being set up beautifully from Igo.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. You've got to throw them. I like to throw them kicks. I like to throw them sort of high vulnerability kicks when I've countered my opponent already, when I've lunged my opponent, when I've sidestepped something, etc. I don't like to lead with them. If you lead with them, you kind of hitting and hoping. Whereas if you do kind of get out of the way of something that you know it's kind of going to land, unless the other opponent's not going to be able to fire back, they're going to have to move, and that's kind of what he's doing at the moment. So it's just finding that. But it's been a great fight so far. The head movement's very interesting for Collins. I'm wondering if Igo's got some sort of answer for that at the moment, but it looks like Stompy Collins is doing a fantastic job and kind of taking the lead of the point at the moment.
He definitely has been. That leg attack was beautiful from Igo, but just intelligently so, Stompy Collins going for the takedown. We're going to have to see if he's able to secure the position. Not today. Igo not wasting any time getting back to the feet, and I think he needs to get active, my man, against Stompy, because Stompy's doing such a good job of just maybe, dancing him to sleep on the outside with the head movement and the attacks from, with the kicks. He's been really, really good with it. So maybe Goat has to get some of those feints going, pump some of those hooks in just to maybe counter some of that head movement that Stompy's been using thus far in the fight.
It's very difficult with his Israel. Oh, wow. Nice shot right there. He's got him against the fence, punches him. Can he do some more damage right now? Hits him with a hook. And we're struggling right now because he's just giving him the space back, Cyrus, and that's kind of where, Israel kind of fights at that space. At the same time, you can't let him off, but I'd like to see him do some more leg work. As I say that, he punishes that leg again, and now he's got him pinned against that fence. Is he going to be able to start testing that stamina, the head health? Big body kick right there, Cyrus.
Yeah, I think that the man just, especially when he gets his opponent, he may be looking for the big flashy finish, and he needs to keep it simple, in my opinion. Go back to those fundamentals, especially when his opponent is rocked, to put together a 3 or 4 piece combination to, beat his opponent down to the canvas, because Stompy's doing a very, very good job of just keeping his hands high in those particular moments and, making sure to mitigate enough of that damage to at least stop that forward momentum that Goat has managed to accumulate when he's got him rocked.
Nice work right there. And someone I look to, who does that, is like a Young Poe, an Easy Ease, an Ed Parker type of character who just picks away at you, chips away, makes you have no hope left of your head health, your block health, your body health, etc. to come back into the fight. They don't overexert themselves, but at the same time they constantly just lovely work.
Yeah, finally got the switch out of him, but then goes to the head after another little neat oblique kick to the leg, spins to the head. did the job for a moment, but Stompy's not out of this fight, man. He's firing back with the bombs, been attacking the legs himself as well, so with the third round potentially in this fight there,
nice,
you know, a lot of time for him to get some work, especially with the damage he's been able to accumulate so far, my man.
He catches him with a head kick. Is he going to try and finish him? Stompy comes forward, but he's very, very vulnerable right there. What is going to happen right now? Israel Adesanya is taking his time, but he's definitely taking over in this round. Can Stompy come back and try and get some offense? It doesn't look like it, Cyrus.
Yeah, firing on the inside, man. Like, I mean, that was a high vulnerability uppercut that he landed as well. Surprised the damage wasn't a little bit more for it, but no, that was a great second round. These guys both bring in the action tonight. They're humble. We've got going into the third and final, and with both guys having big moments of success, it really is anybody's game. Who can attack that leg, you know, early enough? Who can maybe go back up top with all of the downstairs damage they've done? That's now, of course, going to set up some of these head kicks as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. But the other thing we have to consider as well is the head movement from I can't remember his name. I've lost his name in my head.
Stompy Collins?
Yes, Collins. There's the head move from Collins he was doing early. He had high stamina, so when he was doing that, it was kind of working for him. Now he does it, he's going to even be more vulnerable, so a body shot, etc. will end up dropping him or hurting him. So he's got to really rely on movement and kind of doing different stuff, which we haven't seen from him yet. So at the moment, Adesanya, for me, is in the driver's seat.
He really, really is. He's attacking that leg early, though, Stompy is, which has been a good job. Obviously, Adesanya did not like it, answered back with one of his own, forcing that switch early out of Collins, but the checks are on point, Humble.
Lovely work. Oh, he catches him in the oblique and he goes for the spinning round kick to the face, goes for another kick, needs to set that up better. I go now. Can he do it? Nice push kick to the body, gets him back to the fence, another check to the leg, and Collins at the moment he's on thin ice.
Yeah, no, he is, but I was just noticing that his actual head health and body health still looks really, really high considering the amount of times he's been rocked and put down. I'm not sure if the statistic is pretty high in that regard for the acrobat, but yeah, no, this guy is obviously durable. The stamina a little bit worse for wear if he continues to get picked at like this. Goat may be able to close the show, but the takedown once again keeps him in the fight for that little bit longer, bro, for that little bit longer.
Triangle attempt from Israel Adesanya, and this guy's panicking right now. He's going for the punch. He does get some offense off right there, but this is neck and neck as we move forward, and Igo is trying to track that bar right now. He's going to chase it again. He goes to the left, he goes to the right. Can he keep away from it? It doesn't look like he can, or he does. He gets a bit of success there, Cyrus. He looks like he's going to get out.
Yeah, he does. Manages to escape, obviously slicing across now into the side control position. His stamina is very, very low, so the easy get up from Israel Adesanya, and this man's going to be feeling like he's got all the momentum in the world as he sits him down again with a beautiful spin to the head, brother.
Is this it? Oh, he goes to the head, punch, and there we go. Brandon Pound finishes him. What a performance right there. Great fight and a great finish.
Yes, sir. Bringing all the action. Both gentlemen, Stompy Collins, Igo BP, putting on one hell of a debut performance from both guys. They both brought the action. They both had massive moments of success, and respect to both of them for putting on one hell of a show. But Igo getting the job done this evening, brother, and walking away with a big, big W.
100%. There's a lot to learn from that from both guys, right? They can look back at this fight and look at the mistakes they've made, listen to the commentary, listen to other people in the chat as well with the advice. You can talk to anybody in this community. It's all about growing, and I think both guys had success throughout the fight, and both guys could make little adjustments and potentially win that fight either way again. So great work, great performance from Igo, and I'm looking forward to seeing him back next time in prime time.
Yeah, definitely, man. Impressive all around. Same with Stompy Collins. He came out with an unorthodox approach to it, did some great work with the head movement and so on. Didn't go his way this evening, but you know, the guy showed some prospect in his own as well. So yeah, interesting to see where they both go from here, brother. But that does now take us, of course, into the next one, which is going to be our first place. I was going to say PlayStation bout of the evening, but I could be wrong. But it's Purple Urkel up against LW Reaper, so it might actually be another PlayStation bout. I could be wrong there, but obviously Purple Urkel and LW Reaper from the Lethal Weapons camp, both guys, fantastic players all round, have the ability to take the fight really wherever they go, although we do often see them play out a little bit more on the feet, especially from Purple Urkel, at least in my experience.
And what type of style does Purple? Because I have seen him fight before, but I cannot remember. What type of style does Purple Urkel bring to the octagon?
I'm pretty sure he's just hands, brother. I'm pretty sure he's got, like I said, he can do it all, but he has fantastic hands. If I'm not mistaken, he was in this fight either way. He has a knockout, which I think is the fastest knockout in primetime history. I think it's like 30-something seconds. The guy came out with Sugar Sean O'Malley. I believe he was even in his debut and just put on one hell of a show, or maybe even been Conor McGregor, one or the other. But no, he has a lot of hands, and obviously LW Reaper. This is actually on the PlayStation side. Have you come across either of them yourself over there, Humble, being a PlayStation guy?
Definitely not, but I'd love to spar or even just play one of these guys, just because I like to play the Xbox. I was going to buy an Xbox, guys, just to play the likes of Zeus, Let There Be Light, Dino, Blake Tyler, all these guys. I kind of want to just play, and all the guys from Primetime as well. I just want to play them, obviously, because it's a different sort of perspective. I've heard it's a lot easier to throw hands, and it's a lot smoother on the Xbox side. So I'd love to kind of get a dabble myself. But look at this, Reaper with a 10-0 victory on Purple Urkel. That is not a good sign for Purple Urkel, but these don't matter sometimes. You know, I've seen people who are 8-0, 7-0, 3-0, etc. go up against people in Cage Rage, in the ESFL. On myself, on my debut for the ESFL, I was 3-0 on a guy and he beat me. So, you know, it's pain, but it happens because it's a different stage, it's a different sort of environment, and you've got to thrive in these environments, and we'll see if Reaper can do that.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's the pressure. I've fought so many people who are fantastic in the training room or on OWC, for example, but when they've got a platform and an audience trying to cheer them on one way or the other, it really does add on that extra pressure that can sometimes make or break the player. We've seen Purple Urkel rise to the occasion in the past, although this does look like it's going to be an uphill battle, my man. Reaper has shown to be a dangerous man, and with the pick of Vicente Luque, he's going to have submissions, power in the hands, and of course as durable as they come there, Humble.
Is it Reaper from the Twitch community who streams as well? Is that right?
LW, no, I think different one, brother. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say I know a bit about that guy, but yeah, this is kind of new to me. But Reaper throwing some nice combinations at the moment. You see him go for the pullback as well, so he's aware of the counters. He's trying to bait something out of Purple Urkel at the moment, and I like the way he's using Luque, but he's heading off with them straights, the 1 and the 2, coming down, getting in the pocket, and then getting down and dirty right there with the combinations. Beautiful work.
Yeah, as we would expect from Purple Urkel, he's trying to be the one leading the dance, trying to go first on the combination, which can be, you know, a massive success for him if he's able to get the bigger of the damage off. Gotta be careful with the spins, though. Vicente Luque all over the circle into the power hand. Didn't get the full counter off, but that is shades of some major damage that can be outputted should he get it again.
Nice work to the body there. It looks like Purple Urkel's just trying to find his distance, find what combinations are actually going to land, you know, trying to get them counters at the moment, and currently just trying to get out the way of Reaper. I want to see him with no respect at the moment. You can tell he's a teammate. It's a sparring match at the moment, even though Reaper's trying to take his head off. You can just tell, I don't know about you, Cyrus, that it is a sparring match. This is how I fight my teammates, so very similar.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I didn't know that Purple Urkel was LW, though, if that was maybe one of his recent kind of signings. But both guys, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think Purple Urkel's been trying to lead the dance. Not a massive amount of crazy strikes so far, but I feel like they are obviously familiar with each other's styles, like you've mentioned, right? And maybe trying to attack the common traits of their opponent. So anybody you fought maybe more than 10-15 times, because I'm sure they fought with the sparring record off as well, you do get to know their tendencies a little bit, and obviously you can look to capitalize on some of those tendencies should you be able to get the opportunity.
Nice work from both guys right here. I seen Purple Urkel land a nice right hook right there, one of Masvidal's trademark, but it's the combination fighting from Luque at the moment that's doing the damage. The knees in the pocket just mixing it up as his opponent starts to get going with the combination himself. He throws one single strike and completely disrupts his combination. It's beautiful work and a masterpiece so far from Reaper.
Yeah, doing a great job of taking the battle back, and that's a big miss on the knee. Slips his head just at the right time. That could have been lights out if it connected. We know how dangerous Masvidal is with those flying knees, but Reaper all over the defense for the most part right now, using the footsies perfectly in and out and taking charge over the fight over the course of that first 4.5.
Yeah, 100%. So it's a body knees in the chat. It's working though. It's a nice way to disrupt your opponent's combinations when you do land in that pocket. The body knee is there. Obviously, if you throw a teep as well, sometimes that turns into a body knee. So nice work. He catches him. Beautiful work. Head kick nearly gets him down. You see the head health blinking at the end right there, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. And just to go back to what you were mentioning a moment ago, I mean, yeah, those knees, they're there, especially when your opponent's pressuring forward. The amount that Purple Urkel's tried to start out this fight with the pressure, he didn't want to take a back step. So, you know, he was made to when Reaper started throwing those knees up the center, started attacking the stamina and the body health, like you mentioned, and obviously makes your opponent reconsider the way that they're entering that pocket against you.
Yeah, 100%. We basically got like a combination counter fighter against somebody who can, and also Reaper can mix it up really well. I've seen a lot of different things from Reaper in this fight, so in the first round so far. That tells me he knows exactly what he's doing. He throws them combinations, lands in the pocket, either disrupts his opponent's rhythm, or he tries to bait a counter from his opponent. So there's a lot for Purple Urkel to think about at the moment as Reaper comes forward, because he is mixing up really well with his tempo, with his rhythm, and with the shots he's throwing.
Yeah, the shot selection are really on point for Vicente Luque at the moment as well, just choosing them very well, and that's how he's been able to mitigate a lot of the damage coming his way, because like you've mentioned, Purple Urkel been putting together some nice combinations that, you know, may put other people out who weren't so aware of them, but Luque just all over it at the moment, in and out, using the attacks low, high, going to the body, leg and head, not discriminating at all in where he's putting out the damage, and so far it's been a pretty nice performance for him. But we've got to make sure that Purple now is looking for that, you know, counter back like he has been. The guy has not stopped, not quit, or really taken too many steps back throughout the course of this fight.
Yeah, he keeps getting caught on the end of his shots, but he was doing a really nice job there going to the body. He just he got caught 1 or 2 times in the pocket while he was trying to throw a kick, and Luque started put the pressure on, but he lands a big shot right there. Is he going to try and finish him right now? Reaper is heading backwards, and that is why you always control the octagon, ladies and gentlemen. Luque will control the octagon. As soon as he's under pressure, he just was able to step back out of range, and now he's got the takedown, changes the position, and Masvidal is on his back.
Yes, it's a good mix-up for him, right? It's a really good mix-up for him, especially after Purple Urkel gets a bit of success with The Rock. Take his opponent down now, got a lot of time to work down here, and we mentioned it earlier, he's got submission should he want to go there, as well as the ground and pound. Although Purple Urkel using any opportunity he could to get his the fight back to the feet. I think obviously this is where he's going to have the best success. You don't want to be messing with Luque on the ground.
Big shot right there, hits him with the uppercut, presses him back to the fence, and this is going to be dangerous right now for Purple Urkel. Near that fence, if you get dropped near it, obviously your opponent's going to be able to get some extra damage, punching you on the way up, and potentially get into mount position and try and finish you. You've got to be careful and get off the fence. That's exactly what Purple Urkel did right there. He's attacking the body right now, Cyrus.
Yeah, he did a great job of recovering, but it's not out of the woods. You know, I said he didn't want to be on the ground with Reaper, but he doesn't really want to be on the feet either right now. He maybe needs to grab him in some way or stop this pressure. Vicente Luque is all over the gaff right now, landing everything that he wants to, although Purple is trying to stay calm and composed. The way that he almost levels up every time he's rocked. The blocking just seems absolutely next level, guessing every single which way, but it's almost brutal to watch at this stage, Humble. The damage is just adding up every single which way for Luque.
He needs one shot though. One single shot from Purple Urkel can change this fight, as we know, but at the moment he's keeping it nice, he's keeping it contained, and this is picking your opponent apart right now. This is exactly how you do it. This is how the best players in the world pick their opponent apart. Stay composed, don't use any high vulnerability moves to kind of put yourself in a position, and just run away with the lead, basically. Great round there from both guys, but Vicente Luque and yeah, he looks fantastic. Reaper looks fantastic at the moment going into this third round. I'd rather be Reaper than Purple Urkel at this moment. But Purple Urkel's got all the tools in the bag to finish this fight, Cyrus.
He really does. His stamina isn't actually as bad as you may think, but the damage definitely adding up. It doesn't take too many, especially with the power that Vicente Luque has in his hands. He's doing a great job of working that leg as well, especially at this point. It's getting Purple Urkel maybe a little bit frustrated and trying to get him to really get active in the pocket with the hands. And I think that, I don't know what you think, Humble, but I see Vicente Luque, Reaper, really trying to capitalize on maybe a 3 or 4 punch combination. It looks like he's been trying to queue it up, but he gets hit by something massive from Masvidal. Uppercut, I believe it was. Huge shot that sits his opponent down momentarily.
Yeah, being a kicker myself as well, I can see Purple Urkel constantly going back to the kicks, going to the body, and it does kind of jilt your opponent and make them reset. But every single time Purple Urkel kind of lets his hands go, because he's been using the kicks so much, Reaper's not expecting it, he gets dropped, and that's what happened in the second round, and it happened again in the third round. But Reaper going back to the standard and starting to put the pressure on, breaking that block, pressing him against that fence, and just slowly chipping away.
Yeah, they went head kick for about a solid 20-30 seconds right there. Obviously just trying to get off some big damage as they're both a little bit gassed, they're both a little bit hurt. I am absolutely still blown away by Masvidal's stamina at this stage, but he is trying to get the kill. He smells some blood, but he's obviously completely aware of the power in Reaper's hands as he lands a back fist, brother.
My God, he's going forward. He gets caught though. Masvidal only needs one big knockdown and a rocket potential from ground and pound to finish this fight. So Reaper, reckless abandon, I'd like to say. I talked about his composure in the second round. In this round, he's kind of, you know what, I'm coming forward. I'm going to try and finish you. Let's give these fans a war as we go into the end.
But people probably knows, right? This is kind of what you want to see from a guy like this. He's potentially 2 down in this fight. Maybe not, right? But he's potentially 2 down in this fight. He's actually doing pretty well in terms of stamina. Vicente Luque has put out a lot of damage, but that's obviously going to take a lot of gas to do it, Humble. So now's the time to turn it up. Pushed for that finish.
Beautiful. Excellent work from Purple Urkel. One of my own playbooks right there. Go to the body. Your opponent expects the body, and you go to the head later in the fight. Great work. He's took a lot of head damage. He's took a lot of block damage so far to kind of do that. But he's going to have a chance right now. Oh, he nearly had a chance to kind of hurt and rock his opponent right there. But he's definitely in the drive seat in this third round, mainly because of the stamina, like you said. But he's got to be careful. It might be a close fight. It might be 2-1 to him going into the end of this, and he's got to be careful of not getting knocked out or knocked down.
You could very well be right. There are 35 seconds left on the clock. The head health of Jorge Masvidal eternally blinking at this stage. Both guys hurt, both guys gassed. Big rock from him, puts him down, bro.
Can he finish him? Ground and pound now. He's on top of him, hammering away. He gets back up to his feet. Reaper's got 10 seconds. Can he survive? He
goes with the head kick of his own, my man. Gets sat down, though. Turn for turn, the head kicks galore. That was one incredible fight. That was phenomenal, my man. I don't know who won that for sure. Like you said, it could have been pretty close. I think Vicente got the first 2, but the way that Jorge got that third for sure was an absolute, it was just an incredible turnaround.
I love that fight, and that was the money in the bank, we like to call it, the investment into the body with the kicks early on, and it obviously cost Luque into the third round, but I fully thought Luque was in the driver's seat right there. Now we've got a questionable decision, Cyrus. Let's see who won this one.
Oh, split decision.
Interesting.
And Judge 3 scores it 9-28 for the winner by majority decision.
And Luque's got his hand up. Who's he going to be?
Jorge Masvidal.
10-1. What did we say? Oh my God! Wow. And somebody posted this recently, and I can't. They posted it in one of the big UFC forums with 11,000 people, and it said the third round. I've noticed from all the fights, the third round is the most important round to the judges, and it might just be true, Cyrus, as we see. What definitely was an upset going in that one there, and people who put their money on Purple Urkel have just been rewarded massively, so well done to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's going through the statistics right now. I didn't get to catch it all. It was a very, very close fight, man. It was a very, very close fight. One round, definitely Reaper won handily. One round, definitely we saw out of Purple Urkel comfortably winning the third one. So I think it maybe all came down to that first or second round. I can't remember exactly how it panned out, but another fun fight to take us into the card as a whole there, Humble. Up next, we're going to be seeing Harun up against KM Basic, 2 guys on the Xbox side. I believe it's the first Xbox fight of the night. Showing all-round skills from both guys. We've seen them time and time again. I believe Harun is previously known as Scythe, able to take this fight wherever he needs to, but obviously has his work cut out for him up against one of the Kingsmen in Basic. This guy has shown to be a savage in every single which way. His mix-up, his hands to his wrestling, absolutely phenomenal there, Humble. Don't know if you've actually got the pleasure to call one of these fights in the past.
Yeah, I've called a few of the Kingsman fights. I thought, I've seen a lot of these guys fighting. They're a very organized, well-run team. I like their team. I like the logo. I like the design work. Anyone that takes themselves seriously in this community, you know, they're putting the work in, they're putting the time, and they're trying to add some science behind the training. And that's kind of what good teams do. You see that in the top teams in the ESFL. You see that in some of the top teams who are trying to emerge into the ESFL. And that's kind of what good training partners do. So you're guaranteed to get a good fighter from every single person in that Kingsman team. So we'll see how this fight plays out.
Yeah, KM Basic, been there for a little while now. I do believe he really does mix it all together, like I said, phenomenally well. And that's what he's going to need to do, especially if he's going with this Sugar Sean O'Malley pick up against Rob Font. I mean, Rob Font's one of the better picks in this weight class. One of the more favorite picks in the weight class, I should say, with that boxing, but may have some difficulties employing that fully due to the reach advantage Sugar Sean's going to have. And I don't know if you've ever experienced it yourself out there, Humble. When somebody can use Sugar Sean just right, maintain that range, it can be really, really hard to get in on that, man.
Well, me recently, I absolutely love using Sugar Sean O'Malley recently. I've been sparring with him consistently, and I've kind of found a pattern with some of the techniques. He's got the devastating the left crosser, similar to Conor McGregor. He's got that quick left hook straight that you can kind of do. He's also got a lot of deceptive kicks. He can throw feints as well that kind of looks like you're turning away from your opponent. He's just got a lot of deceptive strikes now. His chin health and his stamina is a question mark, especially against somebody who's such a great fighter like Rob Font. Yeah. But we'll see how he holds up in this one.
Yeah, I mean, Rob Font's got underrated kicks of his own. I believe he's got the switch kick to the body. He can attack that leg fairly nicely. And if he gets you pressed up against the cage like this, the combinations with the hands, they can really, really be let go there, Humble. And doesn't take too many from Rob Font to change the course of the fight entirely.
100%, and beautiful work right there, keeping him off with a KM Basic. I'm liking how he's using Sugar Sean. I always like it's like a masterclass when you see someone with who uses Sugar Sean really well. It's usually a beautiful performance, but Haroon looks like he knows exactly what he wants to do with Rob Font, and Basic's got to keep him off him. He can't let them kind of break that block. He can't let him come forward and pick them shots apart. He needs to use them counters really well. And as we've seen earlier on, maybe some knees to the body, maybe some body shots. But at the moment, just against that fence, he's got to be super careful throwing kicks in the pocket, Cyrus.
Yeah, he really does, but he's doing a great job of just attacking at range. One thing he's doing right now is going to the body often and early and switching his stances, making sure to change up those angles on his opponent, Humble, which time and time again have had him moments of success chopping away at that stamina of Rob Font as he continues to press forward.
I like the position that Haroon's in right now. There's just mainly preferences. I like to be pressing the action and keeping my opponent against that fence, just because if I hurt my opponent, I can do extra damage and kind of lead the fight that way. But I'm looking for the basics to kind of throw some big counter strikes at the moment. He's got to be super careful. I'd like to see him in the center of the octagon so he can move backwards and forwards and left and right at free will. At the moment, he's eating shots to that block, and that's kind of not where you want to be with Rob Font.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Rob Font, Haroon is actually circling.
Oh my
right God!
There. Oh, wow!
Neo has entered the cage. The combinations coming out of basics right there were absolutely phenomenal. Lighting him up with the, to the block, then firing up with the kick, but now taking a moment to compose himself. He can't continue to do that for the full minute 20 left on the round, right? Or no stamina will be left.
And there's just a great example right there of how to stop the pressure of your opponent. You move your left, you move right, you move backwards. You're constantly pressing, then you hold your ground and just fire off a big combination, and hopefully it lands. And that's exactly what he's done twice right now as he hurts his opponent. But it does cost you a bit of stamina to do that, so you've got to be super careful, especially if you throw opponents throwing body shots like Rob Font is right there.
Yes, sir. No, obviously, doing a good job trying to circle off, but like you said earlier on, brother, he needs to circle a lot more heavily, try to take the center of the cage so he has more distance to escape into. Being pressed up against the cage like this is only a recipe for those combinations for Rob Font to be fully let go, when he gets cornered.
Yeah, the other option you've got is kind of sidestepping and counting your opponent and kind of making them respect you as to step back themselves. But at the moment, Haroon's like, nah, I'm coming forward, I'm going to hit you, and I'm going to hit you hard every single time.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job of striking off the offbeat for the majority, but I have to say the biggest moments come in the way of Sugar Sean O'Malley. Gets the big stun, the big knockdown, very, very close statistically across the spread from both gentlemen. So a very, very close fight there. However, the momentum I do feel it kind of tips a little bit towards Rob Font in terms of the way that he's been able to get some of the combos off, and really take the center of the cage, which can sometimes be a little bit overrated, Humble, although, especially when you're the opponent with the reach advantage, you don't want to be pressed here. It takes away virtually everything you have.
Yeah, he's trying to dictate the pace. He's also trying to bait a counter at the pullback. The other thing he's really doing really well is he's cutting his opponent off. If his opponent moves left, he throws a left hook. If his opponent moves right, he ends with a right hook. So you can see him switch the stance right there and kind of doing that, even with the kicks right now. It's just basically mixing your attacks up from left to right as your opponent's moving. And obviously, if your opponent moves into a strike, it's higher vulnerability. We keep talking about it as we're doing it. But again, basic, we've seen him do it once. He can land a massive counter strike at any time and end the lights out of Rune right now.
Yeah, his combinations are so perfectly chosen. The shot selection are absolutely on point from KM Basic when he gets the opportunities to rip them. But Haroon just looks like he's having that calculated pressure that's giving him some problems right now. Just done a fantastic job of maintaining that center of the cage the entire fight, my man. But there's the flying knee!
Oh, he misses it! He misses the 360 roundhouse, and he's very, very... Oh, he was going to get hit right there, but he did a good job of kind of backing up, and Rob Font couldn't get his act together to kind of do some damage. But he's starting to hit the body again. But great work, a bit of excitement right there, Cyrus, as we go forward. We said Basic didn't, like, he picked his shots really well, but he threw 145 strikes in the first round. I looked at the stats, which is crazy. I didn't feel like he threw 145 strikes. I don't know about you.
No, yeah, you're right. It doesn't feel like that was the sort of output. They are definitely picking up the output over the course of the fight, though. Haroon is just being relentless with the pressure, although he is being tagged a little bit on the way in. Obviously, O'Malley's stamina's got to be a little bit concerning if you're sitting in the side of KM Basics there, right, Humble. At least from what I'm seeing, it's not leaving him for these big combinations he likes to go to, and a lot of these spin kicks and so on are going to start to become a little bit more laboursome over the course of this next minute or two with that stam.
Oh, spin kick caught to the head right now, and I was about to say Haroon's starting to mix his attacks up to the body, which leaves him susceptible to the uppercut. Obviously, he's got to be careful of that, but at the same time, it also chips away that stamina that you were just talking about, and he's doing a fantastic job. But then O'Malley's now starting to get them reads on as Haroon starts to slow down. So this is a fantastic fight going into the last minute of the second round. I have no idea who's going to come out with this one, because it could go either way at any point right now.
It really, really could. That was a big moment for Sugar Sean O'Malley to get a big spin off that spinning elbow. He's gone to it again. He's getting moments of success. It's the big concerning part is just being pressed up against this cage, but I think that's a lot to do with what Haroon is doing here. Cage cutting. Big head kick, question mark kick, sits him down with the hook to follow. This isn't going to be it, but one hell of a way to close out round two.
This is exactly what I was talking about, hurting your opponent against that fence. You get that extra damage, get that extra break where you can kind of do stuff, and he's still there. They have to get away from you, and guess what? They can move left or they can move right, and when they do, they can walk into a big shot. And that's why pressing your opponent against the cage in real life and on the game is so important, and you see it so many times for people like Peter Yan. Conor McGregor does it really well. You see it top. Oh, fake glove touch for Basic. Oh my days.
Yeah, he's not here to play games. No respect shown from Sugar Sean this evening, going for that finish any way he can. Haroon does not like it, trying to land some bombs of his own, and after the closeout the second round, he's got to be feeling all sorts of confidence there, Humble.
Yeah, 100%. He's in the driver's seat in the sense of done the block damage, he's done the head health damage, he's done the body damage. He can mix it up quite nicely right now. Oh my god, the commentator's curse. And he goes for the ground. That's it. He finishes the ball. Oh my days. I did it. Oh no. Wow, Cyrus. I'll let you call that one.
That was absolutely craziness. The savagery on display from both guys. I mean, just walking forward throughout the course of those first and second rounds was Rob Font doing a great job of cutting off the cage. Obviously Scythe doing fantastic at that entire kind of throughout those first round or two. Obviously KM Basic on the reverse, just staying calm, staying composed, not getting as flustered as many people would be pressed up against the cage there, Humble, taking the damage that he was and finding the opportunity for that finish with just another blistering combination. You've got to love to see it, with the man being committed to getting that dub and not giving up on any opportunities that he gets.
And it's this kind of like the writing was kind of there, wasn't it? We just missed it a few times because we fall in love with the pressure fighter who's kind of breaking the block, chipping away the opponent. But KM Basics had caught him a few times. First round he caught him in there when he came forward. He caught him with a lovely counter. In the second round, I believe he caught him twice, and obviously he got dropped at the end of the second round, which is what we concentrated on because it was the last thing we remember. So the writing was there. He just needed one ground and pound opportunity to kind of finish his opponent, and that's exactly what he got, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, big win for KM Basic as well, bro. That's a big win for him. Interested to see where he goes, as like with many of these Kingsmen, of course. So it was actually 19-19 going into that third round, just to let you know what it was officially on the judges' side of things. But another fun one in the bag. I believe that was our first PlayStation bout of the evening, taking us straight on to the first Xbox bout of the evening there, Humble. Taking us straight on to our second Xbox bout of the evening. It's going to be the one that I preluded to at the beginning of the entire event, a fight that I was highly anticipating, which is gonna be Brady stepping forward up against Chase Me Fam. These two guys are absolute savages. Gonna be in a middleweight weight class. We're not gonna waste too much time, just gonna get these guys set up across from each other. It does look like, they're Humble, we're gonna be having a Marvin Vettori up against Derek Brunson pick, which is a pretty interesting one.
That's a very interesting. But I've seen a few people use Brunson lately. There's obviously he's got kind of building fan base. Anytime anybody that kind of builds a win streak and doesn't get the credit that he deserves, you get a fan base. Look at me, I like Leon Edwards. Obviously, I'm English, but you know, Leon Edwards for me doesn't get the credit he deserves on a 10-fight win streak, for God's sake. And he's beat some top contenders. His last loss was to Usman. So you get people like that kind of going behind him. But Brady picking Vettori is a very interesting pick. He's got the Bulldog perk, I believe. He likes to walk forward and throw punches, and he's going to try and get in the face of Brunson as he switches the pick on us. Damn you, Brady.
he was just concealing the TRT that he has been on. He didn't want to get tested until the last moment, so he's going to get out there, fight. No, with Robert Whittaker. Man changes it again on us.
That's my pick. That's exactly what I'd pick. I'd go with the Rob Whittaker pick right there against the Brunson. Obviously, Vettori's a great striker, but Robert Whittaker feels like the best kind of striker on the game. For me personally, him and Pete are two of the best strikers on the game. The way they box and kick and mix it really well, and they've got really good chins as well, and body damage and leg health.
Yes. Yeah. No. For sure. Robert Whittaker as a whole, you know, his ability to really take the fight wherever he wants is absolutely massive. The speed that he has as well, especially for this weight class, the blitz in and out on his opponents is absolutely fantastic. I wonder if he's going to be able to utilize that this evening. Although where Chase Me Fam does his best work is where he mixes it all together, putting together those hands into the takedown attempts. He has a lot of success doing that, but has to be careful with the uppercut coming his way from Brady, all over it, and landing with absolute precision to open out this first round, brother.
Yeah, 100%. And I watched the ESFL last weekend, and there was 5 instant knockouts from uppercuts on the card. So you've got to be careful. Them uppercuts thrown correctly, they can be absolutely devastating. One of my teammates got flash KO'd from an uppercut that he was actually winning the fight in, and it's one of them things, especially with a Whittaker pick. The uppercuts can be devastating, as we're seeing right now. Yeah,
they come out so fast, especially when he plants on them. It can, really change the course of the fight quickly. He's doing a great job of in and out movement so far, is Brady. Chase Me Fam definitely needs to continue to mix up some combinations, be defensively cognizant, and look for that takedown, I would imagine, early, as Whittaker's having a lot of success on the feet there.
Nice work. Brunson catches him though. He's going forward right now. He's pushing the jab out. I like what you said at the start, and I was about to jump in until he got rocked. Good pick if he makes it up. Obviously, I'd like to see some more rest and maybe a bit more clinch from the Brunson pick and actually mixed up the fight. But he's doing a fantastic job at the moment, hitting the body, hitting the head, mixing up that work, and doing some damage as well, as we're neck and neck in the rocks.
Yeah, that was a big answer back, and he needed that. I mean, especially as we approach the midway point of the first round, it just really puts the ball back into, center court, allows you to look for, something over the course of the fight, maybe knocks away at that confidence a little bit of your opponent, but that's a way for him to get it back with a massive head kick.
Beautiful work, ground and pound right now. No, he stands back up, interesting. He doesn't want anything to do with the ground. Now, if I'm Chase Me, I'm taking that as a bit of information right there that this guy doesn't want to go to the ground. Guess where I'm going to take the fight? To the ground. And as I said, it happened.
Yeah, so 1 minute 30. Or is that 1 minute 10 on the clock? That's what we see. This has unfortunately been put in for a 5-round fight. They only have the 3 to get it done over there, brothers. So they're going to have to get active to make sure to get the victory. But yeah.
How do we score that contest if it does go 3 rounds and he passed?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Funnily enough, any time that we've ever booked them in these fights, they've never actually gone the 3 rounds. They always end up in a finish because these boys know. Yeah.
You see what happened the last fight was as soon as I spoke. Commentator's curse is completely real, so sometimes it's nice for us to shut up.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't know. I feel fairly confident on this one. I'll put it out there. I'll wear it. If it goes past that, like I say, we'll deal with it. But no, these guys, especially knowing Brady, especially knowing Chase Me Fam, these guys, they're always looking for the finish. This first round can sometimes be a little bit more of a feeling out process, but especially as they go into this, the later rounds, they really do start to heat up and turn up that temperature in the cage.
Yeah, you've got a little bit. Make sure, guys, if you are fighting on tonight, make sure you double check your settings. You don't want to be facing any sort of repercussions for not checking your settings. It's harder for us to do, but as we go back into that first round, it's been a fantastic round. We've seen an uppercut again. We're talking about the uppercuts, Cyrus, and we got 2 of them land, 2 rocks from 2 uppercuts. Brilliant work.
Yeah, basically pull counters. Obviously, Whitaker's walking away with the being in the advantageous position at the end of that first round. He gets the extra knockdown, I believe it was, over his opponent. But I have to say once again, Chase Me Fam, he takes that first round a lot of the time to approach. He's normally a 5-round fighter, to be fair, given like his tenure in the promotion. He was champion for a long time on UFC 3. He normally likes to do his workload over that 5 rounds, but he's going to have to heat it up right now, and that's what he's been working on recently. Although, man, these blitzes are just so fiery from Brady, bro. They're so fiery. They come in so quickly. It's really hard to react to them.
Yeah, you're right, and you see the head kick that he tried to land right there just before that takedown, which is great work from Brunson, and he just ducked it just slightly before he should, and that actually does a lot of damage. I'm a head kick expert, I know this for certain. It does a lot of damage if you duck a kick just slightly wrong, and it hits the block as you're going down. It actually it can still hurt you and go right through your head, so the bleed through is really bad. But yeah, Brunson's took him down right now, Cyrus, and fantastic job of switching the fight up, as you were talking about earlier on. He's seen something in Brady's game that he thought, you know what, this could be an advantageous position. He's mixed it up. He's made the adjustments he needed to do. And these are the type of best fighters you get in the world, as we're seeing Whitaker changing right now. The fighters that can make adjustments and switch that up on their opponents to make it a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, those are some fantastic knees on the inside from Brady, though. Obviously, Chase Me Fam does need to mix it all up. I would say that when he gets into these positions, Brady is completely aware that the takedown is what he is going for. So maybe throwing in some of those elbows, some of those knees is where he needs to do his work in the clinch. But starting to move that head, bro. Otherwise, Brady's going to continue to pick you apart at distance. And he's looking fantastic on the feet. That takedown was much needed from Chase Me Fam.
Beautiful work right there. He's trying to win this round. So 2 minutes left to try and keep him on the floor. And the takedowns could potentially keep him on top for these 2 rounds of frustrating his opponent. Obviously, they can't go to the decision. So, Chase Me's going to have to do some damage in this round. But he's making the perfect adjustments for a 3-round fight, 100%.
Yes, sir. Now slicing across. He actually gets the back take on Brunson. Now into top mount, picking the lesser of the 2 evils, but that denial is massive, Humble. A lot of time to work and the power to end the fight here.
Oh my god, I can't believe he didn't finish that one right there, especially with the stamina so low. I'd have been tempted to go for an armbar as well, but yeah, Brunson on his back right now. Can he do enough to get up, or is he going to take some more damage, especially with Brady with a stamina advantage, I'm guessing? We don't know, but I am guessing, just because it's so low. Is it so low? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
Doing some good work here is Brady, coming into the last minute of the second round. A little bit of an update from the back. It appears that if they don't get a finish within 3, it would be ruled a no contest, which would be a bit of a shame, but going that full 3. But they're gonna have to get active, my man. Looks like Chase Me Fam is trying to do just that. Brady trying to take a little bit more of a counter approach, coming into the last couple of seconds, potentially knowing he's ahead over the course of the 2 rounds. This is an interesting one. What would you like to see out of both corners so far, Humble?
If I'm Brunson, I'm definitely trying to survive the next round.
That's a great
Dirty
point.
tactic, but I'm trying to not lose basically because I know that if it goes past 3, like you just said, it's a no contest. And it was Whitaker that kind of made them decisions with the status with the home advantage when he made the invite as well. So you know, Brady was the one who kind of did that. But Brunson, did he catch him? How didn't that rock him right there? I cannot believe they did a rock right there. But that's what I'm trying to see from Brunson. Maybe he's going to try and wrestle a bit more. But Brady's looking for the knockout, of course.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Jamie Pham has landed so many clean shots to start out this third round, but gets hit with one of his own. Brady pressing forward, but we see his stamina is not exactly the highest on his end either, brother, and that can be problematic to get in these finishes, although these combinations are coming in a flurry.
Oh my days, he's getting caught with counters right now as well. He's going to be super careful because Jamie Pham, he's kind of, you know, if he lands a big shot and gets his opponent out there, great, but if it goes past 3 rounds, it's going to be a no contest. And look at this right now, he's doing that, exactly that. These guys are trying to finish each other. There is nothing. Oh, wow! Holy shit!
Go to sleep. Chase Me Van pulls it out of his back pocket. Brady potentially 2 up in that fight, and the pullback elbow humble sends him to hell.
He just sent me speechless right there. Literally just did like a horror scream. Oh my god. He caught him. I was saying the counters from Brunson. I felt like Brunson was kind of in charge of that because he was in the right positions. The stamina advantage was going to him as he was Rob Whitaker was throwing them combinations and kind of overexerting himself, I'd say. And then obviously he just gets that pull, elbow, counter, one shot, knockout. But credit to Brady to try and finish the fight. It was an amazing fight. Obviously, you know, which we would like to not avoid that, so that both guys can fight the best fights they can possibly get. But what an entertaining fight, Cyrus. That was fantastic.
Yeah, they really pushed the action. Both guys should hold their head up high. Bit unfortunate, like you said, with the 5 rounds. That's possibly something that led to Brady getting caught on some of these combinations as well. You got to think, right? Because he was up in 2 rounds and he wanted that finish. You know, of a fight that he was winning, quite possibly going into that 3rd round. But Chase Me Pham capitalizing just beautifully and getting that pullback elbow. What a way to close out that fight. And yeah, no, an incredibly fun fight to call all round, brother. All of these fights have been so far, and I imagine they're going to continue to be as we get towards the latter end of our prelims. We're going to be having one of the faithfuls of Primetime MMA. He's been around for a long time, ups and downs, currently on and up. That's going to be Broomstick stepping up against K5 Fired. K Fired. These 2 guys, like I said, incredibly well-versed, humble. They have all of the skills to pay the bills, and with them being part of the promotion for so long, they've really rounded out those games to be, you know, comfortable no matter where this fight's going to end up.
100%. I'm sure I called both guys of these fights last time I was here. I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know too much about the competitors, so I'm not going to pretend I do. But as these 2 get into it, let's get. It's been a great card. Let's talk about the card as a whole so far, Cyrus. The card so far has been fantastic. The last couple of fights we've had have been amazing. It started off with Rock Roman versus Moroccan Lion, which was insane, and then it's going to move up, and we've got 2 title fights at the end. What a card we have this evening! It's going to be great, and this fight's going to be no different as we move into it.
Yeah, no, 100%, my man. I cannot wait to go through the fights as a whole. Like you said, the main and co-main event between BSD Drivers, TD Fadnader, Styles and Josh Ray, that's going to be an absolutely phenomenal way to top out this entire card. But looking before that, Simple Benny, a man that is, you know, really all together. Fantastic work start to finish in all of his recent performances, stepping up against a tough up-and-coming opponent in Louis, who has shown time and time again to be an absolute savage in the cage. His ability to go chill Sonnen and mess up people's nights is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, KM Caliber, God Ain't My Pig, Dirty Dave, M-Town Finds, just fight after fight, my man, all the way through. It's the Primetime Guarantee. It was coined by Bane, but it's absolutely correct. It is absolutely the Primetime Guarantee. Each and every fight gonna deliver, each and every event. And with that all being said, AJSK Fired up against Broomstick. No time to waste, my man. We're gonna get straight into it.
Amazing. Here we go. How is everybody in the chat as well enjoying this evening? Thank you for joining us. If you do want to join Primetime, there is a link in the Discord, right? A link in the chat right there for the Discord. And do be sure to check out our Twitter to keep up to date with our relevant news. Oh my God, here we go. Broomstick. Yeah, Cyrus. How do you see this one playing out?
I imagine it's going to be a barn burner. AJSK fired. He likes to throw hands. He likes to be the heavy hitter. Thus his pick with Paulo Costa. Broomstick is a man that has really worked on his all-round game. So going the Robert Whittaker pick once again perfectly accentuates his abilities and his style, being able to take this fight no matter where he wants to. I imagine that Broomstick maybe is going to want to look for a takedown in the early course of this fight, or at least that's what I would want, right? You don't want to be standing too long with Paulo Costa on those hands, especially if he's going to get in that, kind of active routine of just walking you down and berating you with combinations.
Yeah, you got a couple of options, which is Costa likes to sit down in his punches. As I say that, you've got the in and out option, but obviously got that option as well. You can meet him in the middle and kind of fire back and try and outland him, and that's exactly what Broomstick did right there. The AJ's camp, though, very, very good camp, very big camp. They'll be trying to get their boy ready, and Paulo Costa's coming forward there with reckless abandon from them knees and elbows.
Yeah, right now, Broomstick's doing a great job of getting off first, and it's muting the offense of AJSK fired thus far in the bout. I think that Costa definitely needs to be the one that's going first if he's going to have success, because Broomstick's just so much faster with Robert Whittaker especially, right? He's using the simpler strikes, leading with the jab. Everything comes out quicker after that jab, of course, leaning him into the head kick and all around just doing whatever he wants in the cage so far. The footwork and the combinations seem to be the key to success for him if he's able to continue that there, Humble. Great work pressing forward from Broomstick. Looking pretty good over the course of these opening couple of minutes. Once again, has to be very, very cautious of the power that comes his way from AJSK fired. Those overhands, we've seen him look for them already, are absolutely brutal, and should they land, can change the entire trajectory of the fight. But Broomstick at this point just looking phenomenally accurate, not wasting any time landing these combinations at all.
Nice work right there. Sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize I was muted. I was talking to myself for a few minutes. But as you were saying about the movement, it feels like Robert Whittaker is like bouncing in and out on his toes, whereas Costa kind of plods forward. He's flat-footed a bit, and that's kind of the difference in the character models. But AJ's fired is doing a great job of closing the distance so far, and also utilizing the knees and elbows in the pocket. But you're just looking at Broomstick landing big shots constantly, ending with a kick, and then getting out of there, and then countering his opponent again. Oh, he gets dropped right there though. Whew, that was a big shot right there from Costa. Yeah,
he's doing a great job. Broomstick, though, like I said, he's had so much success over the course of this first fight. K5 fired, answering back with some big shots at the end, trying to steal it.
My God.
Imagine if that connected, bro. But no. Obviously, Broomstick, being a veteran of the game himself, just staying composed in those moments. He's been there, he's been hurt before, so he knows he knows what to do, and was able to survive on that little bit longer. But big back and forth moments for both guys, all still to play for. Another potential 10 minutes, 22 seconds left on the clock, Humble. What would you actually like to see out of AJSK fired going into the second round? Because he's having a lot of issues getting some damage off and eating a lot in return. Maybe he doesn't need it.
It might be it. Oh, no. Oh, well, that was a very, very fun round to watch. 65 strikes landed from Whittaker. You asked me what I'd like to see out of K5 Fired and closing the distance better. At the moment, he struggled with closing the distance, actually getting in the pocket with Rob Whittaker, and he's throwing from out of distance, which is basically allowing Broomstick to wait for him to miss and then counter his opponent with a combination, which is overwhelming him, his block, his legs, his head, and that's where he's getting hurt at the moment.
Yeah.
He comes out and throws a big kick right there, gets dropped. This might be it.
Robert Whittaker's got a full set of stamina. He's able to unload right here, but gets reversed by K5 fired, and now finds himself potentially in an arm bar. Arm bar
with Paulo Costa pulling off an arm bar would be very impressive. But ground and pound is where it's at, and he's getting some big ones off right now, but nothing significant enough to kind of blink his health. Costa needs to stay on top. Can he use this grappling position to kind of turn the fight right now? That's the question, Cyrus.
Well, I mean, he does have the power in those hands. All he needs is a few to connect flushly. And to maintain the position, that was a really easy get-up for Robert Whittaker as he counters with a lovely hook with a missed head kick from K55. This could be it as the combinations are unloading.
Oh, he sent him Astro traveling across the cage right there. That was a beautiful knockout. Great work from Broomstick. A lot of Broomstick fans in the chat screaming his name right now. Amazing work. Show your support to the boy Broomstick, who gets the win in the second round in quite a dominant fashion, to be honest, Cyrus.
Yeah, he looked fantastic this evening. Came to this fight incredibly dialed in, tuned in for the fight, was able to utilize his in and out movement, going first, leading with the jab. He kept it. I think you mentioned it, Humble, at the beginning of that round. He's keeping it a lot more simple. He's keeping it simple, stupid, right? Because if you don't keep it simple, especially up against a big, heavy hitter like that, you go hook for hook with that guy, you're probably going to end up face down on the canvas. But going and utilizing an educated jab, setting up everything that he had behind it, was just a remedy, an absolutely crazy finish for him. I mean, that was a beautiful, beautiful, pretty high-level finish with the combinations putting together.
I think the word you were trying to use there was remedy for success.
You're
completely right. You're completely right, Cyrus. He did have the remedy for success. It's very simple when you think about it. In and out movement is going to make your opponent miss, and when they miss, that's when you throw the counters, because they've got to back up, because they haven't got enough stamina to kind of stand in the pocket and then trade with you. And if they do, you're going to win 90% of those battles because their stamina's low and yours is high. Only if they use like a spinning elbow, a straight uppercut, except there's certain combinations that kind of overrides other combinations, but 90% of the time you're gonna land and you're gonna hurt them, and you're also gonna get them backing up. And when you got them backing up, if they go straight back, you can use that double jab to kind of make them push them back to the fence. And we talked about it earlier on. Now they're going to go left, now they're going to go right, and you've thrown head kicks and hooks to kind of catch him which way he was going. And in the end, he got him against that fence, and as he moved to the right, he threw that right hook, caught him, and dropped him and sent him Astro traveling. Great fight as we move on to the next one, and I'd like to call this one because we've got KIA Notorious versus Kobe. Notorious is one of my teammates. He's been in the ESFL. He was in the Rising competitors. He won that and got through with KIA. Ben and Buff went into that one. I don't know too much about Kobe. I know he's an Xbox competitor. You know something about this. You know something about the character. But I've been literally sparring Notorious for this fight all day, so I cannot wait for this one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've heard great things for KIA Notorious out of yourself. Obviously, Lee seems to be a dangerous, dangerous opponent from everything that I've heard about him. Interesting to see you, especially with the Leon Edwards pick to go forward. But Kobe's, my man, he is a bit of a dark horse in this division, being the PlayStation side of things. Previous Xbox competitor, I believe he was in TMF as well as a couple of the other camps, and he has gone across to PlayStation, and he has looked absolutely phenomenal, Humble. I mean, I can't tell you, this man has just come out time and time again and put on class performances, like truly class performances, so I expect big things out of him here tonight. It looks like he has an incredibly tough opponent across from him, so interesting to see how these guys actually stack up in this welterweight bout. There's a lot to play for, only 3 rounds to get the job done. I imagine a little bit of a feeling out process unless they're overly familiar with each other. Did see a 1-0 record going towards KIA Notorious going into this, but as we've said, Humble, that is completely different, doing it under the bright lights than maybe in a ranked match or a previous spar.
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking for good head movement at the moment from Notorious. It usually takes him a round or two to kind of just out of his opponent, and I'll be honest with you, we weren't expecting a Gilbert Burns pick as well. As far as we knew, Kobe was kind of a striker, and we're seeing that right now for both guys, but I'm wondering if Kobe's going to try and adjust and go to the grappling aspect of the game. But Notorious is great there as well. He likes to make a point sometimes as well, so we'll see if Notorious entertains that. But great MMS as well, 35-42 MS, Cyrus. Great, so you love to see it.
Yes, sir, it's not too bad at all, brother. Looks good, but what a combination from KIA Notorious. This man coming out looking crispy clean with his Leon Edward picks. The combinations on point for him so far, Humble, showing why he's a dangerous, dangerous man.
Yeah, he's got some beautiful head movement. He's one of them players that when he starts getting going, he looks like a world beater. He literally can knock out some of the best players in the world and make them look stupid. And you can't let this man get going, and that's what we're seeing right now. He's getting going, but Burns firing back right now, hitting him to the body. Great work from Burns to take the center of the octagon. I really like to see that. Is he going to start mixing it up as he catches him in the right there? Beautiful work. Firing right now, Cyrus.
Yeah, Colby's trying to answer back with some big shots, catches the kick, goes for the shot as KIA Notorious was completely aware of the takedown threat coming his way. Maybe a little bit of a takedown to be mixed in would go into the favor of Colby's right there, Humble, because even if he doesn't get that takedown, just makes your opponent second guess, gets them to lower their hands a little bit, and having the advantages of Gilbert Burns' black belt is, it's a big advantage to have, so why not utilize that?
Yeah, you're right, 100%. You like mix it up. Obviously, it opens up the hands as well. When they get back to the feet, obviously, them shots become. You'll be a lot more comfortable when you know your opponent's just going to strike with you, and if you take them down, obviously, it opens up everything. We're seeing great work from both guys right now. Lee's getting a bit of damage, and Colby's obviously got some damage as well. It's very neutral at the moment. We're seeing who wants to take it, and Colby goes to the floor, and we see it right then. And Notorious has got fantastic takedown defense, and even better punishing you when you miss as well sometimes, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, that was lights out takedown defense. Although, like you said, there's even the attempt now gets it in Notorious's mind, so he now goes back to his combinations. Lands a lovely kick to the body, does Colby's. Both guys having massive moments of success, but Burns unloading with combinations in the pocket, doing a great job of bleeding through some of that damage early in that first round. Very, very back and forth contest over the course of that 5 minutes there, Humble. That I mean, I really don't know which way this one's going to go, but both guys really, really high level.
Yeah, this is a fantastic fight. I really like how Colby fights. I wonder if he's got a camp at the moment, but yeah, I really like how he's kind of mixing it up and how he's thrown combinations right there, because he was struggling early part, but he's just been hit with a high vulnerability shot. He ducks this beautiful work from both guys. Wow, what a fight, a technical war that we're seeing right now, Cyrus.
All action over the first 5 minutes, both guys putting on a complete and utter array of techniques to be displayed for everybody's viewing pleasure. I mean, that was a fantastic first round. Bowing respect from both guys, and we're going to go straight back at it, my man. I mean, these guys so closely contested. Slight stamina advantage for KIA Notorious, but we've seen time and time again that's not the biggest game changer in this bout. They're Humble.
Oh, he gets caught with the left hook. He needs to be careful right now. It could be lights out. Uppercut straight. Beautiful work from Colby. He went with a head kick in the first, and he mixed it with an uppercut in this one. I absolutely love that, how he pulled that out of the playbook. And I wanted to talk about something he did, an adjustment he made in the first round, and that was simply he stood his ground. He stopped kind of moving in the same sort of rhythm as Notorious, and he stood his ground, and then he started firing 4 pieces, 5 pieces, and Notorious struggled to kind of get a read on that, and the tempo completely changed, and that's where he caught him off guard, and that's kind of what he's done so far. So Notorious needs to look to kind of pick him apart at the moment. At the same time, Colby's doing everything right. It's a great fight.
He really is, but he's got 3 minutes 30 in the second round. Stamina is not fantastic, so he needs to make sure to fully maximize it on everything he lands, just like he's doing, Humble. The precision on display from Colby's really playing a massive amount of success in his favor over the course of this fight so far. Edwards has to be careful. Notorious has had lots of success himself, but is that an uppercut to put him down?
It was the delayed uppercut, but it was the uppercut from hell, and we got some grounded power now. Lee does not want to get turned, and he finishes his opponent. Wow. You've got to say bittersweet. He's my teammate. I'm absolutely buzzing for him. At the same time, Colby has got to be kicking himself right there. He was in control of the fight. I believe he was kind of running away with it slowly, but that's what Lee does. He's that type of fighter. He looks for an opportunity. He makes adjustments. It's something we relish in our camp. We've got to be able to make adjustments. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. If you're losing a fight, you've got to be able to mix it up. Even if you lose, at least you tried, So Colby, fantastic work right there. And what a player he is. He's going to be an interesting one in the PlayStation division. I don't know what his record is already, but that is a contender right there, I'm telling you right now. And Notorious, again, proving why he's going to be one of the top competitors in the PlayStation division. Excellent work. What's your thoughts on that, Cyrus?
Honestly, it was just an incredible bout all round, my man. Either way, both guys should hold their head really high. Like you say, Notorious definitely going to be a huge talent within the PlayStation rankings, and the same to be said for Colby's. I think that might be his first loss in the promotion, on the PlayStation side at least, and he showed exactly, like you said tonight, why he's so dangerous. Although he did not get the W, that's all down to what KIA Notorious was able to do, looking fantastic, making the necessary adjustments that he needed to get that fight after a lot of adversity, weathering those early storms, Humble. really does separate a lot of people. A lot of people crumble under that pressure, but not Notorious as he gets his hand raised this evening.
Yeah, and if we were like doing the post-fight analysis like Joe Rogan does, we're seeing both guys in the chat right now with respect to my man Notorious, an absolute great fight. Lee McGrath, same respect. That was an awesome fight, bro. Colby's assault opponent striking is top notch, and that's kind of what you want to see, isn't it? When you see such a great fight like that, and you see two great competitors just having fun, that's what it's all about on a Saturday night. Both guys walk away with this with points to take. They're going to come away with better fighters on this game, and they're going to come away with an experience that they both enjoy. And that's kind of what we see as we move into the next fight. And I believe this is one you mentioned, Cyrus. I'll let you tell us a bit more about this one. It's Bucko versus Satchmo Life, if I'm correct.
That's right. I mean, Bucko, another guy from the Lethal Weapons camp. He has unorthodox striking, can fight very fundamentally, but has some, has some other things stacked away in his pocket to throw your way that he does like to go to should the opportunity call for it. Sick Sloth also making a bit of an up and run in the community himself. Looks like tonight, brother, we're going to be seeing a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson up against Leon Edwards pick. I could be wrong, but I think that's what we're about to see right here.
I like that pick. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson could be either the easiest fight to have against or the worst, because it depends on how people utilize him. I believe his boxing's really good. He has a really quick switch straight. I think he's got 99 kicking speed. I believe he's got 97 or 96 kick power as well. So the kicks are super quick. They're like lightning fast. But you've got to be able to move with this character well. So I'm excited to see how both of these competitors use the characters. Leon Edwards kind of plods forward, picks his opponent apart, and his controller's being disconnected. That can't be a problem, Cyrus, as we move forward. We've all been there. We all know exactly how that feels. He's running about right now looking for a wire, etc., as this fight's about to start.
Looks like he may have that reconnected. Thankfully, they show a bit of respect to start us out. Like you said, the kicks from Stephen Wonderboy Thompson are lightning fast, especially if he's able to plant on them. But the overall technical ability of somebody like Leon Edwards can sometimes bring it together in an amalgamated way to take away a lot of those striking opportunities from his opponent, especially with lovely little side steps like that. That's going to take away some of those, centralized attacks, some of those shots from down the barrel, like the teeps, the jab straights, that obviously nice. Wonderboy, heavily relies on those shots. They're his biggest techniques, are the ones straight down the barrel.
Yeah, and that's where the side steps come in. Obviously, Leon Edwards likes to plod and kind of move forward, like I was talking about earlier on. But Sophia can really do well with Leon Edwards' use of the kicking game, which is what we're seeing right now from Sick Sloth, and it's kind of stopping the kicking game from Bucko. If you want to destroy a kicking game, start kicking. It's basically 101 in Taekwondo and kickboxing. You gotta kick first and kick fast, and that's exactly what Sick Sloth was doing right now. Can Bucko get his distance and kind of find that range for his kicks at the moment?
Yeah, he's eating a lot of damage to the head. His stamina looks fantastic. Sick Sloth obviously taking a couple body shots, now getting sidestepped himself. A lot of missed shots right there, but the ones that do land, they land with a lot of damage. Especially early, they chunk away at that head health of Bucko, so he has to be careful, has to continue to maintain the distance like he is, and really utilize that full reach, because he's going to have a speed and reach advantage, especially with the kicks from Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Such a long fight to have there.
Nice work right there. I like that combination he did. He ended it with the knee and distance as well. Closing the distance to land the knee is kind of nice, especially when someone's throwing a boxing combination, because you land that knee, it'll drain all the stamina at the same time. Leave him in a high vulnerability position as he hits him with a right head kick right there, drops him against the fence, and we always talk about it. He's going to get the ground and pound now. Oh, he gets back up to his feet, and that's gonna tell Sick Sloth, you need to be careful right now. You need to change your game plan and kind of get some offense as he throws a spinning kick.
Yeah,
Siren.
The frustration is clearly setting in for Sick Sloth. These big head kicks from miles away, just setting Bucko up for massive amounts of success. That was a nice lead leg kick into the overhand from Sick Sloth, but he needs to compose himself. He needs to make it back to that corner in between rounds and get some good people to, get into his ear, because right now everything he's doing is from a mile away, brother. Like that takedown, Bucko saw it and countered with that knee, just reaction based.
Yeah, the utilization of the jab at the moment is not non-existent from six slot, and that's kind of how I'd like to enter the pocket with a Wonderboy Thompson. Even though he's got the head movement, it looks like Bucko is running away with this right now. He hits him with a beautiful combination right there. He's got him against the fence again, which is where he can dictate which way he wants his opponent to go to land a big strike. It throws a bit for me. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, but, it looks like they're having a little bit of an issue on their end, but I'm sure it will be fine as we continue to course forward. Of course, hopefully it comes back in a moment. We do not want to see this for too long. We're waiting for opponent, maybe getting a disconnect right here. That is a bit of... No, they're back.
Yeah, so it might be just a spike in the ping, but it happens sometimes, EA hasn't got the best service. Nice kick to the body. I'm loving how Bucko's using him. Look at the stamina advantage right now, and the head health, and the body health. Oh my days. Bucko is having a dominant performance right now. He's looking for a highlight kill, and he gets it!
That's another big knockout for Bucko. After a little bit of technical difficulty, comes back with a vengeance and lands a beautiful sequence of shots to put his opponent out for this evening. And he, after the opening kind of minute or two, Humble, he just had so much success, frustrated his opponent to a point that the writing was a little bit on the wall as he sets up that beautiful combo to close out the show.
And just a masterclass of how to use Stephen Wonderboy Thompson right there. I do believe that he could have used Leon Edwards a bit better. And kind of press the action a bit more, use the jab to set up the kicks. He did really well at the start of the fight. He was using kicks really well to kind of disrupt his opponent's kicks and his opponent's pattern. But as soon as he got rocked, I seen a lot of panic. And we're looking, obviously, in the future for him to make adjustments and kind of not panic in that position. And that comes from experience and playing with good players and sparring with good players consistently to make sure that in those moments you feel comfortable, you feel like, there's an opportunity to counter usually, especially when you get hurt. And that's kind of what I'd like to see from Satchmo Life going forward in the future. And from Bucko, fantastic performance. I can't pick a fault in anything he did right there. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it really was. Like I said, I will see these guys coming back, of course, better than ever. But Bucko just looking absolutely phenomenal this evening. Did really put it all together. But that, my man, does take us straight on into the main cards now. We're going to be having an up-and-coming competitor recently getting his ESFL role, I do believe. CIA webcam. This man has fantastic movement, just the ability to be very, very elusive all around. From the Lethal Weapon camp, he has been doing fantastic work start to finish, although does have his work cut out for him tonight, Humble, up against another Kingsman in KM Intro, another gentleman that has silky smooth striking but can mix it all together should he need it.
Yeah, we talked about the Kingsman earlier on in the fight. I'm sure did Ken Basic get the win earlier on as well, if I'm correct. Maybe I'm too far back here. I can't remember.
Yes, I believe that's right.
Yeah, these guys have got a fantastic team, as we talked about. Webcam, I've heard so much about. Obviously, I've just literally turned my webcam off when you said that, just because I don't want him. CIA webcam, is he spying on us? Who knows? I love his name. It's one you can always remember, always nice. And Killer Jake, is that the guy name that he's fighting, or is there a replacement?
No, it's KM Intro. Sorry, if that's what it says on the graphic, I do apologize. Yeah, no, it's CIA webcam up against KM Intro. It looks like KM Intro stepping in short notice to replace Killer Jake.
No problem. Well, these fighters that step up, they're not thinking about things too much. Some people spar all day, especially if you're in a team, and you can kind of over spar sometimes. I don't know if you've ever done this, Cyrus, but I've definitely over sparred and over thought about a fight and gotten a bit too nervous, a bit too what's the word, tense, and then your palms are sweaty and you can't play like you used to, and then you end up on the back end of a knockout and it's not that nice. So we'll see how this one goes as we move forward. Hopefully we can get these guys on the screen right now as we see a Max Holloway versus an Aldo Pick, and it's an interesting one because we've got a 6-3 record. Doesn't mean too much, but we like to talk about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely. You can sometimes give a bit of an inflection of the way it's going to go, but we've seen it time and time again there, Humble. Sometimes, it isn't only the guy with the losing record that tends to pick up the W when that time comes.
Another total disconnect. Oh no.
So CIA webcam's going to be fighting a little bit of an uphill battle, of course, using Jose Aldo. Max Holloway in this weight class is incredibly strong, right, Humble, but definitely a beatable pick, nevertheless.
Yeah, this is a similar pick to the. It's a bit different because of the kicks, but it's a similar pick to the Robert Waker versus the Costa pick, in my opinion, just because one fighter likes to kind of stand still, fire a lot of strikes, where there's a lot of movement from the other one, and And Max Holloway has a lot of volume and he doesn't get tired, but at the same time, he has vulnerable legs as he gets a rock right there.
Oh, brutal, man. Yeah, and this is the thing, especially if he gets you cracked like this early, then this just sets you up for a world of pain. The combinations can continue to come with absolutely, incredible pace and ferocity as Holloway continues to do it just time after time, just touching his opponent, bop, bop, straight in his face, and it can be very, very smothering if you are CIA webcam with Jose Aldo. Every time he goes to answer something back with maybe a big hook or a big uppercut, he has to be worried about 5 or 6 shots coming straight back his way, Humble.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well, like, webcam is doing the right thing and kind of going to the body when your opponent comes towards you. It's a great sometimes to always move and try and get out of the way, but like I always talk about, you can walk into something and then you're highly vulnerable, so sometimes it's a good option to stand your ground and kind of fire. But as soon as you start to fire at the body, I seen uppercuts coming out of KM Intro. He's ready for these counters as soon as he gets his opponent hurt, and you see them again there. This is going to be a tough fight for webcam going forward, but hopefully he can pull something out the bag. He gets a slip right there, and he's using the lunges quite well.
Yeah, the lunges have been part of his, the bread and butter of his overall skill set. He's done them time and time again. His ability to get out of the way of those shots are absolutely phenomenal, like a sixth sense that he manages to tune into in order to be able to read which way he needs to go, ducking, diving, and dodging everything across this cage. But obviously, like you said, KM Intro with Holloway not going to get tired, even if he's able to miss a couple of them. He has to make sure to capitalize on the counters just like that. Wow. Holloway sits his opponent down, but the upkick of Doom keeps him just about in it, brother.
Yes, the accuracy as well. Even he ducked that one and they tracked him. So, you've got to be careful. Same with Conor McGregor. We've all been there. We've slipped his strike and it's still caught us, etc. And that's that high accuracy. But I do believe webcam's got to cause some problems right now. He's got to give Intro, a sign of, you need to respect me. And at the moment, he's doing a great job of going to that body, but he's got to do some damage. He's got to do some serious damage, and he's got to do it fast.
That he does. He really, really does. A big opportunity to counter any... I mean, the interesting thing is, though, he has actually got better stamina right now. Obviously, he's not putting out nearly as much as Intro, but that would be expected with the Holloway pick. One big counter is all he really needs, although he is struggling to land anything massive as he gets put down once again. The accuracy from Intro absolutely on point this evening.
He's still in the fight, though. At the same time, his head health's absolutely fine. Well, it's not absolutely fine, but it's okay. He's still got half-decent stamina, and KM Intro's throwing a lot at him. If he can catch one of them lunges, it can be good night. He just needs one. But at the same time, I'm loving how KM Intro is fighting at the moment. He's standing right in front of his opponent, putting I call it false pressure, false pressure on him, making him kind of lunge, making him move, and then once he does, then he fires, and then he knows his opponent. That's why we're getting double lunges and triple lunges from Intro at the moment, but great fight going into the next round.
Yeah, very, very much so. KM Intro seems to be, fairly comfortably in the driver's seat of this bout in the early going, especially. That is what you would expect to see. He got a rock. He's been pressing forward on the action. The recovery puts him in an equal spot to Aldo in round 2. We mentioned it a moment ago there, Humble, but he needs a big counter just like that, firing forward in 5-6 piece combinations to maybe get a big rock, because otherwise Holloway is going to run away with it. Look at that right there with the spin. The Beyblade gets ripped out of there and sits him down. Very, very nicely done from KM Intro.
Didn't let him finish his opponent there, though, when he went for the jab, obviously on the straight. That's an attempt to try and finish your opponent. And the game said, no, not yet. We're going to make you punish him a bit more, but maybe webcam can find a big shot. He only needs one. I keep saying it because it's about to happen. I don't know if you've ever fought somebody that you kind of pick it apart and then bam, you're knocked down, and you have to deal with the adversity. And that's kind of what I'm waiting for from KM Intro. Is he going to have to deal with that adversity? Is he going to have to... as we say that.
No, you are right. That can happen time and time again, especially in situations like this where the pressure's just non-stop for so long, but somehow he's surviving so far. This could be it. The one shot is all it's going to take.
He said, humble dig, take that adversity and shove it up your ass. That's exactly what he did right there. Fucking great play. Absolutely amazing. Great performance. Obviously, that Holloway pick is ridiculous, but well done to webcam for trying to deal with that, trying to find a solution and never giving up during that fight. And came in and made his intro. He did a fantastic job and put the Kingsman on the map again, Cyrus.
Yeah, he looked fantastic. Holloway, he was in, like I said, Aldo is a tough fight, or tough pick to go with up against a Holloway, in my opinion, right? But, he did absolutely fantastic all-rounded KM intro. Any counter that Aldo was looking for, he read them instantly and looked to counter them, just like the bodywork, the side steps and so on. So can't take too much away. Intro did a fantastic job of getting those reads early and putting his opponent away. Unfortunate for Webcam, we know he's going to be back better than ever. That elusive movement that he has, the ability to get those finishes that we've seen time and time again. Know that he's going to go back to the drawing board a little bit. Maybe it'll be a different pick from him next time. Like I said, the Aldo Holloway pick is a tough one to get, Humble. May have lost Humble for the moment, unless you're muted, brother.
Hello. Somebody was knocking on my door. I do apologise.
Oh, no, you're all good, bro. You're all good. That, though, does, my man, take us straight on to the next one. Easy mix-ups up against Rasputin. Obviously, a fan-friendly favourite is Rasputin, making his way back to the main card after his last 3 or 4 performances in a row. I believe winning them all after a big skid. Yeah, interesting to see how he's going to match up. This is his toughest test to date in easy mix-ups. Obviously, coming from the easy camp, those guys have hands, have the ability to mix it all together, although definitely more on the hand side of things, Humble. Beautiful striking all around from the easy camp.
Yeah, the easy camp is a fantastic camp, and Rasputin has probably got one of the, probably top 5 or top 10 best names in the community. I don't know if you agree with me on this one, but that is just Rasputin is just a fantastic name to say every single time I say it. It brings joy to my face. And the ESFL obviously raided us recently. Thank you to the ESFL. I don't know if you've already shouted them out, but Bruce Leroy, everybody in the chat, let's get down to business. Let's watch this fight, and let's be a fantastic one as we go into the top echelon of this main card.
Yes, sir. Let's get done. So, yeah, big shout out to the ESFL boys coming through with a huge raid. Did not see that for a moment, but appreciate you bringing attention to it. Those guys are absolutely amazing. Hopefully they had a fantastic card. I'm sure they did. They always do, but we're going to get straight into it. Easy mix-ups. AJS, Rasputin, and Rara showing the big advancements that you can come in your game when you, when you join a camp out there, Humble. Finding a number of like-minded teammates to really hone in on your skills, sharpen that. Iron sharpens iron, and to go from maybe, I think he was like 0-6 at one point to now he's on a 4 or 5 fight streak, win streak there. It, really does show you the turnarounds that you can have given the opportunity to train with like-minded people.
Yeah, and I recommend it to every single person as well. Training with like-minded people, changing your perspective, giving you different looks, and teaching you out different views and perspectives of the fight game. So if you get somebody to kind of watch your fights and kind of watch you in ranked, etc., they can teach you, they can say to you, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you're not doing wrong, and you get someone else to do it, they'll tell you something different. So you end up getting all these different looks, all these different that you can add to your arsenal, that can only make you better as we move into the first round here. And they are slinging it right now, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, definitely. One thing that Rara used to struggle with was fighting from the outside, and with Israel Adesanya standing opposite him, you've got to imagine that is what mix-ups is going to be looking to utilize that outside fighting. Obviously, Rara being in the league for such a long time, everybody's familiar with his style, his weaknesses, his strengths. I imagine that we are going to see some takedown attempts out of Rara Rasputin early on there, Humble. We've seen it time and time again. When he gets his opponent down there, he's feeling so much more comfortable. The work he's able to get done is absolutely phenomenal, so has to be looking for that early up against the outside striking of mix-ups.
Nice leg kick right there, though. He's doing a fantastic. But I'm really liking how easy mix-ups is using the outside of that cage and kind of. We always talk about, I don't like people being there, but when you're Izzy, obviously you got to fight as a counter fighter. But he's got a lot of space to kind of move at the moment, and that's exactly what he's doing, trying to make his opponent miss a strike, and then him trying to counter it is what you need to do with Izzy, because them high vulnerability misses is where you get the big damage, the damage moves, and he's got to be careful, Rara Rasputin, at the moment, because that's exactly what easy mix-ups is looking for.
Yeah, no, 100%. Nice entry, great takedown defense all over the single leg, answers back with a combination mix-ups, mixing it up very nicely there, Humble. Now attacking the body and continuing to maintain the range. The more he can do that, the more success he's going to have, brother.
Oh, he slips his shot right there. Nearly gets a big damage boost, but pushes it back to the fence. An easy mix-up comes back with a beautiful 3-piece combination. Goes back to the body with a kick. Great work so far. This has been a fantastic fight. Loads of movement, loads of technical fighting, and a massive head kick right there, Cyrus.
Yeah, both guys exchanging massive head kicks within a couple of seconds of each other. Mix-ups. Needs to maintain that distance. Every time he does, he's just more defensively cognizant, able to land with the bigger of the damage, but Rara doesn't seem to want to give him that space, Humble, just marching forward in that pocket, trying to get off some combos.
That's exactly what you've got to do against him, is either overcrowd him, throw them boxing combinations and try and get ahead of him in that boxing sequence. Obviously, the knees, the elbows, the kicks, he's got a lot of tools, Izzy, at the moment, but his boxing is where he suffers, in my opinion. And obviously, you said Rara as well. If he does want to take him down, he needs to close that distance to kind of do that, or make him miss to kind of pick that opportunity.
Yeah, right now though, Mix-Up's utilizing that leg kick each and every time he feels Rara about to load up with something on the pocket. But the Beyblade spin is brutal. Gets him hurt and continues to press that pressure. Now sits him down, Humble. This could be it, my man, as he decides to separate.
Interesting. We talked about it earlier on, when people don't like to immediately get up from the ground. It usually gives me an indication that they don't want to be on the ground, and I'm wondering if AJ is going to try and mix that up and try and take him down to say, like, you know, all right, let's test this ground game out. But great round so far for Israel Adesanya, and what an end to that round as well. Fantastic. All the ESFL guys coming over, watching this fantastic fight on the prime time at the moment. What a card, and what a fight we've had.
Yeah, this is a big step up right now, Humble. You know, for Rara Rasputin, like I said, he's been on the Fight Club cards for a little while and those sorts of things, putting together some nice wins. Biggest test to date is easy Mix-Ups, and Mix-Ups has been looking really dialed in for this. He didn't take Rara Rasputin lightly by any stretch. Obviously coming into this one primed and ready to get another W for him and his camp.
Yeah, it looks like a big test right now. He's kind of struggling with the distance, struggling with the management, the shot selection of what he should throw. And, you know, he's got to put it out there. He's got to do what he feels right to him. But Easy Mix-Up he's having his way right now. He's making his opponent dance his dance, and that's exactly what I was expecting from Rara. As we see a turn though, Easy Mix-Ups gets a counter, but he's against the fence. Oh my God!
Y'all want to see a dead body? That was a brutal knockout. The spin, he had landed it earlier on, was able to land it with perfect timing on that one, Humble, able to send his opponent to hell. Bit of a shame for Rara, big step up for him, should hold his head high, not his night tonight. Mix-Ups getting the job done.
Oh wow, when he threw the uppercut as well. He span round the uppercut and was like, here, do you like my elbow, son? And hit him right on the side of the chin, dropping his opponent and knocking him clean. Now that was a beautiful knockout. Great performance from Easy Mix-Ups. I'd love to fight that guy. That guy's an incredible striker, and he plays so well, Cyrus. That was a perfect performance from him.
Really was, my man. You know, he put it all together. He showed that you know, he was the more experienced of the two, and wanted to walk away with a big W. He didn't want that finish on the ground when he got the knocked down a little bit earlier on there. Humble decided to separate, which was probably a great tactic for him, not to gas himself out down there. Didn't want to get mixed up in the grappling of Rara Rasputin. His takedown defense on point, lights out as well. So yeah, Mix-Ups have got to be feeling very good with that. Same with his campmates. I'm sure they're going to be very proud of their teammate going out and getting a big W just like that.
Yeah, it was a great performance. I just liked his discipline, the discipline of how he fought. He knew the way he needed to get that win. He kept to the distance he needed to keep, and he constantly punishing his opponent every time he missed, kept him at the end of his strikes. And then when he did come inside for the takedown, for some boxing, he had some answers with the elbows, the knees, and the takedown defense as well. And not just the takedown defense. We talk about takedown defense. That's really important, but what's more important is the punishment on the outside. People can go for 30, 40 takedowns in this game. If you can punish them when they do go for a takedown, they're not going to keep going for a takedown, because that's gonna stop them from kind of doing that. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, no, completely agree with you. Completely agree, my man. Now, with all of this being said, then, Mr. Humble, it does take us one step closer to our co-main and main event, both title events, or slots of this event, I should say. PlayStation and Xbox co-main event and main event championships are going to be on the line. Up before that, we have former champion, continuous title challenger Dirty Dave by now the EK side. EK Dirty Dave, absolute savage in the cage, stepping up against Kingsman's new addition, M-Town's finest there, Humble, who you know, has recently joined but been looking fantastic. Although this may be his toughest test to date, EK Dirty definitely no joke. We've seen him time and time again putting on fantastic performances, both in primetime, obviously ESFL and the likes. A very experienced opponent.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing I love about primetime, and something that we're open about is that there's a lot of PlayStation, Xbox competitors, and it's hard to kind of keep a track of who is PlayStation, who is Xbox. And I'm obviously PlayStation, you're obviously Xbox, and we kind of know bits about like each of us side. But there's one thing I definitely do know, and that is Dirty Dave. I've never not stopped hearing about Dirty Dave. He's one of the people I watch on the ESFL card a lot, and he's fighting Motown's finest right now. And I don't know too much about Motown's finest, but one thing I do know is that Dirty Dave's Yan is absolutely incredible. This is going to be a great fight, as a lot of people in the chat have just said right now, and I can't wait to commentate it.
Yeah, no, me either, my man. Me either. Dirty Dave, obviously, like you said, he is somebody, when he first joined Primetime MMA, before he started competing in the ESFL and the likes and so on, he was just a grappler, right? And able to really build on his skill sets throughout that entire time. He spends a lot of time in the training lab, building on his combinations, working on his timing, and it paid off with massive amounts of success. Motown's finest, on the other hand, being a recent addition of the Kingsman, this guy has shown massive amounts of potential in his game. A beautiful, beautiful striker. Going to come out here tonight and look to get the job done. If he's able to get that victory over Dirty Dave, that would be an incredible feather in his cap and really, really announce himself on the global stage for the UFC 4 community.
And another war between EK and KM as well. Like, we talk about individual fighters, but another team war that between two of the top teams in the Xbox division, as they meet in the middle with the two of the most OP fighters as well in this division, Rob Font versus Peter Yan, and they are getting to it, Cyrus.
That they are. I do believe that, at least from my own personal choice, I personally prefer to use Rob Font in these positions. I love his boxing. He has a slight reach advantage, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe somebody mentioning quite recently that Peter Yan's leg health isn't the highest, so attacking that could be an excellent game plan for him.
I'm starting to dwindle it down right now, but he needs to be careful of getting caught in the pocket. Obviously, we keep talking about throwing kicks in the pocket especially against a volume puncher like Rob Font as well. That can get you caught in a vulnerable position and obviously dropped. So he's got to be careful with that. But I'm sure Dirty Dave knows exactly what he's doing right now as he's making adjustments, as you can see.
Yeah, so he's doing fantastic. He often takes these early rounds to make the reads necessary, just looks to poke at his opponents. Has to be careful though, of course. Motown's finest has already shown that he's going to land big amounts of damage given the opportunity, and is all over that takedown defense. I mean, the takedown defense this evening, Humble, has been phenomenal, brother, from everybody.
Grappling, yeah, we haven't seen much grappling at all. Like, when we do, I've seen the grappling, it's quick get-ups, it's good work to get back to the feet, and there's a lot of striking today in prime time. As we always say, though, prime time delivers.
Yes, sir, the prime time guarantee. Each and every fight is gonna be a barn burner, whether they get the finish on the feet or the ground. These guys pushing for the finish, trying to make their names known. And right now, Motown's looking actually really, really good, my man. Massively ahead in terms of stamina, for this early in a fight. That's a pretty sizable advantage. And almost leads into that head kick, though.
Love that kick. I absolutely love that kick. I made Pete Yan, so that's an interesting move that he was planning that right there. Usually like to do going backwards, but beautiful work and a great. I just like the tactics from both guys right now. We're seeing adjustments from Dirty Dave, and we're seeing adjustments as well from Motown's finest constantly on the spot. Just each of them making adjustments to the leg kicks, the jab, the straights, the kicks to the body, the head kicks, etc. It's just nice to watch this, and it's whoever's going to capitalize on a big opportunity first that is going to start running away with this fight. And is the other person going to be able to adjust to that? I'm just wondering who that's going to be at the moment, Cyrus, because at the moment it's very, very even.
It is incredibly even, but I will say that the bigger damage is being landed on Peter Yan every time these guys get into a bit of an exchange. If you look at the head health of EK Dirty, his head health is definitely the one that ends up on the worse end of the scale. As he ducks him, lands with a big hook. I'm surprised he didn't get more from that, Humble. That was a big moment, almost capitalized on.
I was gonna actually go the opposite way and say Motown's finest head health looks a tiny bit worse for wear, in my opinion, but it might just because the leg health's so far down. It looks to me like his full side of his health's going down, but who's to know at the moment? One big opportunity, one big missed head kick like we just seen could end that fight, and that was an interesting opportunity right there for Motown. I don't know who I'd give that round to, but a lot of volume, a lot of action going on right there, Cyrus. Very close.
Yeah, pushing the pace. These guys are not looking to take this to the judges by any stretch. They're both finishers by trade. With that being said, Dirty Dave, although he is somebody that gets a lot of finishes, he doesn't actually look for them. They often just come to him. He's never hunting for something particular. But I will say that Motown right now, these combinations with the boxing, bro, they're so fire. They are just landing with pinpoint precision right on the chin of Peter Yan as he goes for another takedown. Was able to secure this one, though, which is a big moment from the EK Dirty. He's not a man that gives up these positions easily once he's got you down on the mat.
In the adjustment he made right there was the turning takedown, right? He kind of got to read that his opponent was ready for the takedown in the first one, and this time he was like, well, I'm going to give you an option. You have to defend left or right, and you know, he gets the takedown, and now he's on top. He's doing some damage, but he's mainly landing points. To get a reversal right there. What a fight this is. Whoever booked this matchup needs a pat on the back. This is excellent.
Motown's finest. I mean, that was a lovely reversal. Utilizes it to get back to his feet, go back to the striking that he was having so much success with to start out the second round. Intelligently backs off, walking his opponent onto some more combinations. Peter Yan needs to be careful because this damage is starting to add up, Humble.
Oh, nice work right now. I'm really liking how he's using Rob Font at the moment. He's just picking away at the head health. He's checking the shots he needs to land, and mainly getting block counters as well, something we don't talk about enough amongst the community is block counters, especially the body attacks, the leg attacks. You always get a free shot back. So great work so far from Motown's finest. He's really prepared for this one, and Kingsman have got him ready, as you can see. But Dirty Dave trying to press the action right now as he teeps to the body. Cyrus.
Yeah, he is, you know, such a durable game opponent is Dirty Dave. He's never going to be out of the fight until he is face down on the canvas, always looking for an opportunity to turn the fight around. But the combos from Rob Font out of M-Town's finest, he is doing the Kingsman proud this evening, doing himself proud, all of his training partners, as he eats a big head kick though, and that's why Dirty Dave's so dangerous, my man. Always looking for a way to turn that light switch off.
Yeah, and even more, like from my perspective, more important from Rob Font at the moment, he's landed them combinations, and then he's adding some movement, he's adding some head movement, he's adding some sort of distraction to kind of, you want to fire back or you're going to fight, you don't have to guess which way I'm going, and that's kind of causing some hesitation at the moment from Peter Yan. So we're looking for Dirty Dave to kind of get a read on that and kind of time him, but that stamina is dwindling, and that's where that's exactly what we thought was going to happen. Catches him with a big hook right there. Can Dirty Dave survive right now?
Bro, he might get the finish. This is absolutely massive. Motown's finest turning up the pressure, looking crazy clean with the combinations.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just impressing throughout the entire night. Dirty Dave fighting uphill to get something going, but the odds are stacked against him at this stage, my man.
Oh, he's got a pull counter and got countered himself. Amazing work from Motown's fighters. He's going to try and get the finish right now. Dirty Dave, can he survive? No, he can't. Oh my God, Motown's finest finishes him in the second round with ground and pound. What a performance and what a fight that was, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, as expected, both guys bring in all the action, but maybe the slight underdog going into this one, the recent addition to the Kingsman Motown's finest, he bloody delivered to this evening, bro. He came forward, showed up, showed out, and yeah, just look at that finish. Jabbed out there, the first one was pulled, but then it sets up that right hand tumble and sits him down. Beautiful ground and pound to follow it up. Great fight back and forth the entire way.
Yeah, it was. It really was, and you're just seeing the discipline. We talked about discipline earlier on from the easy Israel Adesanya pick, and we're talking about it again with Rob Font. It was kind of a back and forth for the first 3 or 4 minutes for that fight, but as soon as one fighter started taking over with it with Motown, he kept with the game plan. He kept sticking at it, and Dave was trying to look for answers. And as he was looking for answers, he was getting caught. He was getting hit with big shots, etc. And the grappling didn't really work out. The grappling defense was fantastic, and that's kind of the downfall from Dirty Dave right there. And the Motown kind of took over it and kind of won that fight with that there, but that was just a great performance. That guy's got to be up there right now, looking at the top of the division, thinking I might be ready for that, especially with Dirty Dave. Was he a former champion? I believe he was.
He was former champion back in the day on the early side of the Xbox, champion as well, a little bit prior, but yeah, no, early side on the Xbox side, he was champion before the big reign of Trixie really began. But like you said, that is a massive feather in the cap of Motown's finest. That was Dirty Dave coming back to Xbox after playing a long time on PlayStation as well, I do believe. But yeah, no, that's a big W, bro. That's a big W for him, and really solidifies his name in everybody's minds going forward.
When you look at like people in the ESFL, you look at people who were former champions back in the day, people like the Romeros and stuff. You get a win over them, that's massive. So same in prime time. You look like Dirty Dave, the old competitors who used to be champions, and you come back and you get a win over them. That's huge. So Motown's fighters just picked up an absolute incredible win, and this is one of the fights that I picked for one of my potential fight of the night. Hopefully, I don't give it the commentators curse, but we got Caliber versus God Ate My Pig. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be a crazy fight. I cannot wait for this one. It's at lightweight, Cyrus. Here we go.
Yes, sir. It is going to be at lightweight. It looks like we're going to see Caliber go with Jake Matthews, which is an out there pick. God Ate My Pig going to go the Nate Diaz. Now, Caliber's a guy, right, from the Kingsman side of things that really has, start to finish, had the ability to turn up on a moment's notice, given, any time, any opponent, any weight. It has not mattered for this man, and he secured a lot of wins, a couple of losses, but a lot of wins due to that mentality. Especially going with the Jake Matthews pick tonight. He's got an uphill battle, bro. God Ate My Pig. Gamp is a phenomenal competitor, both on the feet and on the ground, and he has a reach and maybe just an all-round advantage going with a Nathaniel Diaz pick. In the blue corner.
In the chat, I'm eating pizza 1 second, Caliber said. He's taking this very seriously at the moment, but I mean, it's one of those things, right? You pick a Jake Matthews and you win this fight, you're a hero. But if you kind of get beat, you're like, well, I had a Jake Matthews at the same time. I'd love to have seen him pick a Conor McGregor, etc. But so far, he's performing so well with the Matthews, and the combinations he's throwing right now are incredible.
Yeah, he's really clean with it, but God Ate My Pig doing a great job of going jab straight, jab into the hooks, making sure that anytime that Caliber tries to slip his head off that center line, he's getting punished for it. But there's the rip that he goes to. Slips off rear body hook into the lead hook to the body. Absolutely crispy clean.
Oh, wow.
Looking really good with Jake Matthews. Just the combinations on the inside, very good. But the pressure just relentless from Gamp, just not wasting any time marching him down, bro.
And this is the thing about God Ate My Pig. You can come forward with that Nate Diaz and you know you're not going to tire. You can constantly throw the jabs, just put them in your opponent's face. You'll break the block. You'll start hurt them. You just got to watch for the counters and the big shots. But both guys fighting a really good fight at the moment. Obviously, Nate Diaz is going forward trying to press the action. But Jake Matthews and Caliber, nothing but impressed from him at the moment, because he's firing like he's Robert Whittaker at the moment, Cyrus.
Yeah, this guy is, he's a tough opponent, and he goes out there sometimes with the picks. He's the same guy that went for the mirror match up against Dirty Dave. I believe they played with upside down controllers or some bullshit as well, back on the Vengeance card. But he is a well-versed opponent. Doesn't really matter on the pick. It's the man behind the sticks. Gets a nice takedown, which is an interesting choice to go up against a Diaz there, Humble. I don't know if it's somewhere I'd like to go, but maybe Caliber's just very confident in his abilities up against Gamp should he hit the mat.
Yeah, this seems like a very egotistical pick as well. Look, I can beat you with Matthews, I can grapple you, I can do what I want to do, and I love that. I love that sort of confidence in himself. That tells you that guy wants a title shot, and if he does, it's a massive feather in his cap. But right now, God Ate My Pig is using that Nate Diaz effectively, and he gets the sweep, and now he's on top, and Caliber's got something to worry about.
Now, everybody knows that Gamp has great striking, but the one thing I will say is that once this man gets you down on the ground, it's a different story, bro. He is an absolute nightmare down here. Can hold positions incredibly well, utilizes grapple advantage, the ability to land ground and pound, and even submissions, just with an incredibly high intelligence, kind of behind it. Just picks everything very well, Humble. And
oh my god,
you can see it right there, just choosing his shots beautifully, stopping his opponent getting back up. This is going to be a tough time for Caliber on the match here. Only 20 seconds left though, so not a lot of time to work.
Yeah, Caliber taking some big damage right now, and maybe potentially just give God Ate My Pig that round. I'm not completely sure, depending on the amount of punishment he landed early on in that fight, but definitely a great ending to the round for God Ate My Pig. But so far a great fight, and God Ate My Pig might have just figured out some sort of weakness to Caliber's offense right there, or defense.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to put him on his back early in that second round, but the one thing is Diaz does not have takedowns, right? And even really from the clinch, the man isn't known for taking people down, so that was just maybe a situation of happenstance, since Jake Matthews took the top control position, probably ill-advised to do so. Don't imagine he's going to want to go back to that, Humble. That was a lot of, kind of negative consequences came his way from that takedown attempt in the first.
Big shot right there. And as we say, Game Kill has rated us with a party of three. Thank you, Game Kill, producing fantastic interviews right there. As he hit him with an uppercut. I know he is releasing his Prioxis interview, so go and check out Game Kill on YouTube. But yeah, amazing work. Oh my God, he catches him with the elbow. Wow, Caliber's coming forward right now. He's got such nice combos, Cyrus. They're so beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it's a hallmark of the Kingsman camp. Those guys, their combinations are absolutely sensational. Their ability to slip and rip on another level. Right now, Caliber goes to the ground again, though, Humble. And it's an interesting thing to do with 3 minutes 45 on the clock.
Again, I'm saying Caliber must be... You know, his ego is kind of dented slightly from that first end into that first round, and it's easier to play on. I don't know about you, but it's easier to fight on top, in my opinion, than it is to fight on bottom, especially if you're good at keeping positions, etc. So maybe he's thinking he can kind of keep Nate Diaz on his back and land some damage. But from my personal perspective, God Hit My Pig has got some nasty ground ability, and he can get a. Oh my God.
What the hell did I just witness, Humble? Was that like 5 straight shots in a row from KM Caliber? Not wasting any time getting the GMP off, predicting that his opponent wasn't going to move his head, and predicting perfectly correct.
Yeah, maybe he knew something we didn't right then. He gets moves to side control, and as we say that it might be a bad decision, he's proven us wrong right now as he lands some serious ground and pound on God Hit My Pig.
Yeah, he's doing really, really well, but sometimes, you know, these sorts of things can lead you into incredibly bad positions, especially up against somebody like Nate Diaz. Yeah, obviously, as long as he can stay out that full guard, though, I suppose it's a bit of a different story, right? The full guard is where it's at. But there's another rock, this time coming the way of Nate Diaz on Jake Matthews, pressing forward onto a big combination, Humble. These guys unloading on each other.
Oh my God, that was a fishing hook and a bait right there. That was incredible from Caliber. This guy's got some incredible conversation. I need to study this guy. This is what I'm thinking right now when I'm watching him. The combinations that he's thrown with Jake Matthews are insane. This is why I'd like to see a Conor McGregor, a different type of pick, just because the speed of the combinations would have been different and the power would have been different as well. But God Hit My Pig doing a fantastic job right now, and so is Caliber. This is a neck and neck fight.
Yeah, if he's able to do this, this would be not only a feather in his cap, but bragging rights galore. I mean, his reads on the ground, he's actually doing really well with these combinations on the ground and pound, Humble, just putting them all together very, very nicely.
He's getting back for the damage he did earlier on, and at the moment, God Hit My Pig cannot read what he's going to do. He's mixing it up nicely. Caliber is doing a fantastic job of landing some damage. Oh, there we go, the reversal right there, but there's only 5 seconds left. Holy moly, what a fight. Who does the chat think is winning this one at the moment? I'd like to know.
Yeah, let us know in the chat who you've got ahead. It's been a closely contended bout so far, Humble, back and forth. I think I've got it 1-1 going into the third. What about yourself there, my man?
Yeah, we just got some controversy going on in the chat right now from Caliber saying Jamie is spamming messages. We'd like that to stop. We want a clean fight, guys, if we can make that happen. But you know, I like a bit of drama sometimes. I don't know about you, Cyrus, but yeah, you need to stop sending him Caliber message so he can fight the fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, we heard rumours of this sort of thing in the past. Bit of a scummy thing to do, but KM Caliber getting motivated by it and pressing down with these combinations.
Oh, he's gonna finish him. No, he's not. He's now in guard though. Dangerous position right now as he goes for the finish, and he's got a grappler. He's got a decent stamina advantage on him. But it looks like that escape, but it's not the greatest submission. Is it the Kimura? Cyrus,
yeah, that is the Kimura, that is correct, but decides to bail on it, ends up in a postured up position in the mount, goes for the bow to him, now looking to land some combinations of his own. Yeah, I mean, right now, I was going to say he's got to be careful pressing forward, but he lands something beautifully.
Oh my God. God Hit My Pig coming forward, and I thought he was done, but Nate Diaz has never done. We've seen that from the Leon Edwards fight in real life, and we're seeing it right now, but nearly gets caught right there by Caliber. Caliber's counter boxing is absolutely insane, and we'll say the same for God Hit My Pig as well.
Yeah, no, really is back and forth at this stage. Like you said, the ability to counter each other, absolutely next level, but some of those ducks are so clean from Caliber at these very, very precarious positions. Just perfectly timed. He has to be careful, though, because we're seeing it from God Hit My Pig. When he gets working behind that jag, he has a lot of success. But, you know, obviously it's about those rounded shots that come after it, a lot of them being red, slipped, or pulled there, Humble, as we head into the last 2 minutes 40.
Yeah, when he tries to close that distance with that jab, obviously Caliber's making the readers what's he going to throw next, and he's kind of doing a great job in that. But we've seen Got It My Pigs mix that up really well as well, like we see right there, and Caliber wasn't able to duck that. His ability starting to wear off, and is that character selection choice that's affecting that? But he lands a nice elbow right there, gets dropped against the fence. Is this going to be it? Gets it to Mount. Can he finish his opponent? Goes for the ground and pound. Great defense so far. Oh, and he gets finished. Caliber loses that fight in the third round, and God Ate My Pig with a come from behind, maybe. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. I think
I'm not quite sure, but it was a great fight. I don't know about you, Cyrus. I enjoyed that one.
No, it was an incredibly fun fight to call for sure. Both guys went back for it. Really went in as a whole. Got It My Pig getting the victory with Nathaniel Diaz. Bit unfortunate from Caliber. He was having a lot of success in that fight, even with the Jake Matthews pick, which, kind of shit on him a little bit for picking, to be fair, but he really rose to the occasion. It would be interesting, like you mentioned, though, if he had gone with somebody a little bit more highly rated, how that would have panned out. Maybe he gets the finish in the earlier points of the fight, Humble, and doesn't end up in the third with Gamp raining down ground and pound square on that chin.
I think Gab's going to be happy with that. He's going to be happy he picked Jake Matthews as well, because if that was a Conor McGregor Xeri, you don't know if that's going to shut your lights out. But the opportunity was there, and Gam seized it, and that gets him the win. Caliber's got to be kicking himself, in my opinion, about picking Jake Matthews. But he had a point to prove. His ego, he wanted to show everybody how good he was, and I believe he did that. I believe, Caliber showed how he's a high-level player, and his combinations are amazing. I'm going to see him back. I'm going to see him at the top, no doubt.
Oh, I completely agree with you. For sure, my man. This takes us on to two other very, very high-level competitors, though. We're going to be having Simple Benny stepping up against Anakin, also known as Louis within the Discord server, the man that's been going around picking Chael Sonnen, the bad guy, doing absolute bits of work for him. Toughest test to date there, Humble, stepping up against Simple Benny, who has shown time and time again to be a high-level competitor from that BSD camp. Just honestly doing work. Those BSD boys have been doing work, so gonna have to see how these two guys shake up. Looks like Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler, which is a very, very fun fight in the lightweight division.
A great pick. I'm looking forward to this fight in real life. I'm looking forward to this fight right now as well. And I do know a lot about Simple Benny just because he used to compete in my old promotion that I used to help run, and that was Cage Rage. Obviously, Simple Benny was at the top. I believe he went 4-0 or leaving for a while. And I think this is the second time I've seen him back in prime time. And every single time I've seen him back, he's performed amazingly. So that guy's got better and better. I don't know too much about his opponent, but I'm guessing he's here for a reason, so this is going to be an interesting fight right now.
That he is, brother, that he is. He's shown his wrestling has been on another level. He's often gone Chael Sonnen and, not only wrestled, he's got it done with his hands as well. Got some lovely combinations boxing-wise to go with it. These two guys, though, Simple Benny has been there and seen it all. He knows what to expect no matter on the opponent. Obviously, both guys hit like an absolute Mack truck in this matchup there, so do not blink, Humble, because this one could be, turned off very, very quickly.
And last time I watched Simple Benny fight, he really did a great job in controlling the range, making his opponent miss, pressing him back, and mainly landed leg kicks as well. But as we know, Anakin as well has got great ground and pound, especially with Chandler, so Simple Benny's going to watch out for that. But so far, doing exactly what Justin Gaethje was doing in real life, and picking apart his opponent with them leg kicks.
Yes, obviously one going up top. They always look really, really uncomfortable throwing head kicks when you're somebody like Michael Chandler, but they do a lot of damage. The man packs a punch, or packs a kick, as it should be said. Although that reach advantage for Justin Gaethje, if he's utilizing it correctly, can make the night really, really problematic for Anakin. He's got a little bit of T-Rex arms in my experience. I don't know about yourself, but it can sometimes make it very difficult to close that distance on somebody like a Gaethje.
Yeah, 100%. I completely feel you there as well. The kicking game is not quite there for Chandler, so the distance has to be closed with way. He does have lunging strikes, etc., but I've seen Anakin going for a few takedown attempts as well. Maybe that's his game plan to try and do that. But Simple Benny just picking his opponent apart at the moment, using that distance really well. And constantly he's got space behind him as well. He's making sure that he's not pressed against the octagon. He's making sure that he's dictating where he wants to be. And that is how he's kind of picking his opponent apart at the moment and running away with this fight so far, or running away with this round at least.
Doing a great job is Justin Gaethje, taking the center of the cage, picking at his opponent. Anakin maybe needs to get a little bit angry about it. A couple of takedown attempts probably wouldn't be amiss at the midway point of this first round. That was a beautiful check as you reacted to a moment ago, but it's not dissuading him at all, Humble. Gaethje just pressing forward and having success.
Yeah, he's doing a great job at the moment. Just like we keep saying, just prodding, picking away, picking the right combinations. His shot selection at the moment is perfect from Simple Benny. And he's defending when he needs to defend as well. He knows what his opponent wants. He knows what his opponent's going for. And he's utilising his tools perfectly. Anakin at the moment needs to land a big counter. He needs to make a read from his opponent. Or he needs to try and make his opponent do something that he wants him to do. Currently, he's trying to fight his opponent's fight. And right there, he catches him with a straight, beautiful work. But we need to see more of that.
Definitely, we do. Nice entry on the single leg, but defended by Simple Benny with relative ease as he gets a nice little shove down on Michael Chandler. Now, that leg kick was checked, but we saw the health for Chandler was actually still blinking. So that health on the leg is absolutely devastated, forcing the switch out of him, but that just sets him up for the leg kicks on the other one, Humble.
Nice takedown defense again, and now he's showing off the character of Simple Benny's coming through, and he's showing, look, I'm here and I'm doing a great job, and you have to deal with me right now. Anakin needs to mix it up. He needs to make some adjustments as we go into the second round. Can he get some sort of offense right there? No, he can't. Simple Benny, he lands a kick at the end. Great work, great round.
Yeah, great work all round from these competitors. Lovely attacks to the leg. It's interesting they're showing Chandler landing a leg kick. I mean, the majority of them came the way of Justin Gaethje. Those leg kick attempts throughout the course of that first round were absolutely massive. The highlights are suggesting, though, that Chandler won that round, which is an interesting one, brother. It's an interesting one. It's not the way I scored it, personally.
We've seen worse scoring decisions, etc. But I do think Gaethje kind of controlled that. You can tell by the demeanour of both fighters as well. But who knows? What do we know?
Well, they started out very quickly. Looks like Anakin trying to go for some bigger shots, trying to get the respect of Simple Benny. Benny not about that. Puts him down on his ass very, very quickly and looks to take center charge with ripping leg kicks again, Humble.
Ripping leg kicks indeed. He smashes that leg. The nerves in the end of that leg's are pulsating. The blood is rushing to the top of that skin, and you know Chandler's feeling it right now as he hobbles back. He's starting to go with a calf kick now as well, and the hands have opened up. And I don't know if anyone knows this, but when you do, oh my days, what a beautiful elbow that was. When you do attack the legs, the hands become less powerful, so you actually lose some power in your hands. So when you've got your opponent limping, when you've got your opponent wobbled, when you've hurt the legs, their actual power drops and ceases a bit. So great work.
Funnily enough, it's actually something I only found out recently, but it's an excellent bit of information to have locked away in the, in the vault of memories for UFC 4 and things to employ. The leg kicks are looking on point. Going to that right leg now of Anakin and already chopping away at the head health within the 2-minute mark of the second round. It's been brutal, but finds himself on the mat, my man. Finds himself on the mat. This is not where you want to be as Justin Gaethje, especially with a Chandler pick on top of you.
Yeah, that's exactly what we expected from Anakin to do, but maybe a bit earlier. He took a bit too much damage before he kind of got here, but Anakin's now in a good position. But Simple Benny has just got his grappling advantage up by faking some get-ups right there, and he's going to try and fake some more as well, which he's biting on Chandler. This is cat and mouse right now. Whoever kind of moves first might potentially lose this position, and Simple Benny knows that now. He's got full grappling advantage, and Chandler needs to be careful. He's got him where he wants him. And referee stands it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think he may have been doing a couple of undeniables right there just to stop his opponent being able to get anything off major. Was able to get back up through the way of the referee. 1:45 left in this second round. I imagine he's going to look to get those hands going when his opponent closes in. I was going to say who was rocked, but it was Chandler got hit by the Rolling Thunder, brother. We don't often see it, but when it lands very clean.
Simple Benny now dancing in front of his opponent after making his opponent dance with them leg kicks, making him disco dance across the ring. Beautiful performance so far from Simple Benny, inviting his opponent to try and strike in there. Kind of doing a bit of Anderson Silva right now against that cage, but I don't know if anyone knows well, just in case he's got a different type of block, which he can fire leg kicks really powerful afterwards. He's doing it right now. You see it, hold R1 and R2, or opposite for the Xbox side, obviously, but yeah.
I believe it actually also stops hook damage overall, but it increases jabs, straights, and uppercut damage, but it actually stops all hook damage, I do believe, as well. So yeah, it's an interesting guard that he can throw up. Often maybe a little bit underutilized, but man, these leg kicks from Benny. Bro, touch your LT. Stop him kicking you in the leg. That's got to be... It's easier said than done, I know, but the way that that leg just got chopped up, 3-4 leg kicks just in a row, unanswered, that was painful to watch, my man.
It is, but you say that it is easier said than done, because as soon as you start blocking that leg, the spinning elbow comes, the head kick comes, the rolling thunder comes. He has set that up beautifully in the fight with his head attacks, with his body attacks, etc. And, you know, Chandler's more worried about them attacks that are dropping him than he is about the legs, because he thinks he might be able to land something, etc. So it's a great performance so far from Simple Ben. He's done a fantastic job, and I'm wondering what chat thinks so far of this fight.
Touch of gloves for the third and final round left in this one already. Just engagey Simple Benny getting active as active can be, throwing combinations to the heads, to the leg. You already see that left leg so compromised on Michael Chandler, but he doesn't want to switch yet. He wants to land something big, which is going to be tough there, Humble, given the amount of damage coming his way.
Yeah, he's going to lose some power if he switches, and he switched right now. Maybe he feels uncomfortable in this position because now that left hook from Just Engage is going to be there every day, or the elbow as well. Same with Chandler, but you kind of lose a bit of power right there. But interesting to see how he fights in this position, how he fights in southpaw. Some people just can't do it. Some people don't understand the position, they don't understand the footwork, etc. It'll be interesting to see how he does.
Simple Benny taking a couple of moments to flex on his opponent with some head movement at distance. Gets that down with a jab, though.
I believe he was going for rolling thunder there. Don't quote me on this, but I believe he was going for a high vulnerable move to get dropped with that jab right there. But, you know, Simple Benny being a showman, he wants to impress at the moment. He wants to put a performance. He wants to humiliate his opponent. That's what he's about. He's about completely destroying his opponent, and that's what he's doing with them leg kicks. He does check one there, though.
Yeah, he's the type of guy that when he gets his opponent hurt, he's not just looking to finish you in this fight. He's looking to beat you in a way that, you know, kind of ripples the effects forward into future matches. Should they match up again, he wants there to be, you know, a beating in his opponent's mind, and that's what he's looking to put on. But you have got to be careful, my man, not to play with your food. Yeah, it can. We've seen it too many times. Last second knockout, last second submissions, and you know this kind of has maybe the makings of one of that if Simple Benny isn't able to really get some things going on his opponent right now, because Anakin's looking fresh stamina wise. It's just those legs that are looking pretty brutalized.
Yeah, 100%. We always talk about playing with your food as well. Playing with your food, you know, you got to finish it. You got to finish your food. You don't want to leave any puddings on your plate, because then puddings could come back to bite you. And Chandler at the moment having some success at least, but, you know, Simple Benny's, I'd like to see a finish. I'd like to see some urgency for a finish, and maybe he's kind of toying with his opponent to try and get a spectacular knockout right now. But so far, it's been a great performance so far, and it's really down to Anakin to try and finish his opponent right now, because he needs a knockout.
He really does, and combinations, especially with that gas tank that he has, are going to be the way forward, but no opportunities going to be given his way. Simple Benny pressing forward, landing combo after combo to the head, to the leg, and that's it. Oh, no, it's not. How is he still alive, Humble?
He's been given chance after chance after chance. He's playing Mario at the moment, and he keeps collecting them mushrooms. Beautiful work right now from Gaethje as he goes forward. Wonder if Simple Benny's going to risk it here and kind of go for a finish. He goes for a big combination right there. Anakin survives though. Anakin's firing back. Can Simple Benny finish him? He goes to the rolling thunder, and that's going to be it. Oh, it's not. I lied. There's a flying knee left.
Was that the... I think this might be the first decision of the night, or maybe the second, but my God, these guys have all been bringing the action. There was not through, you know, lack of trying. The combinations coming the way from both guys were absolutely savage. Simple Benny did try to get the finish in that third and final round, as in the first and second, to be fair, but somehow the chin of Chandler is obviously just carved out of some sort of granite or some sort, just able to, you know, absorb all sorts of damage there.
Chin of Chandler in cement, the CCC. But there was a decision earlier on as well, and it went to the 10-0 guy that was 0, and he beat the guy that was 10, so that was the only decision we've had tonight. And obviously Simple Benny has ran away with this one in this main event, this performance here. But that was a great performance from Simple Benny. He's constantly impressed, and he's constantly performing. He moves up the card as he gets another win, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's shown to be a dangerous threat. Once again, another member of the BST camp, and since he's joined BSD, I should say, sorry, he's seen a bit of a change to him in the community as a whole. His striking, his grappling has always been next level, but he's been able to sharpen those tools. He's, really been putting in some great work, and to pick up a big W like that, that's a big for him up against an up-and-coming threat like Louis, who has shown time and time again that he's just been making light work of people. So I'm very, very impressed with that. Both guys really did deliver this evening, but more so on the side of Simple Benny, of course. That approach, that game planning of attacking the legs, Humble, was absolutely sensational and really, really did set him up for, a relatively one-sided fight by the end of it, right?
100%, great performance, but as we know, if you look at this card right now on the paper, it's kind of misleading because you see main event, you see co-main event, but do not mistake, these are two main events at the top of our card right now. We have the Xbox Championship at the top and the PlayStation Championship up next with Josh Ray versus Styles. Tell us a bit more about Styles.
Yeah, so Styles is just an absolutely crazy competitor. I think this man, in terms of a competitive sense across UFC 3 and UFC 4, both in ESFL and in Primetime, is undefeated in the last 4 years. He is one of the most dominant, kind of champions in ESFL, one of the most dominant champions in primetime history, and he has done so in a way, in a wide variety of ways, whether it be his grappling, dominance, the pedigree he has on the ground, which is absolutely next level, or the work he's been putting in previously with the TD boys, now the most recent addition of the EK boys. Obviously has a bunch of world-class strikers that have been getting his hands up to par as well, and he's been shown to be able to utilize those beautifully. Although stepping across from him very briefly, Humble, is Josh Ray. Isn't that KIA Josh Ray? Isn't he an opponent of yourself?
100% KIA Josh Ray, one of my close sparring partners, an absolute beast, and somebody that we wanted to bring into KIA because he was destroying our team, and he made our team 10 times better by bringing in other players as well, just like him. He is a problem everywhere. He beats everybody. He goes through the divisions and beats absolutely everyone, and on his day, he can beat absolutely anyone in the world. This guy sometimes is unstoppable, but today he's facing a tough competitor in Styles, and I know he's ready because he's been sparring everybody in the chat today, and he's been beating my ass. So Josh Ray is here, and not to mess about, and he's got a Nick Diaz pick right now, which is a very interesting pick.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick for him. This is the interim champion. Obviously, Josh Ray winning it in his last outing, fought in the co-main event for the spot of the main event. Styles had to pull out short notice due to some personal kind of issues in terms of health, wasn't feeling too great. Now he is rested up, recovered. The champion is back to try and take on the interim champion, which it just makes this fight that little bit bigger, Humble. That little bit bigger.
This is going to be a fantastic fight right now. Obviously, nostalgia reason as well. Nick Diaz versus GSP was built up for years as Nick Diaz was in Strikeforce, as these two meet in the center, and it was such a fantastic fight, such a fantastic build-up going into that one. And Josh Ray stuffs a takedown right now. But yeah, hopefully we get some sort of performance like that from both of these guys, because I love that fight and I love this one coming up right now.
Yeah, and this is going to be a crazy fight. TD Styles able to get the takedown early, but let's not sleep on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu of Nick Diaz. This man has the rubber guard, has attacks for days in terms of the elbows from the bottom, the submissions, all sorts can come your way. So obviously the champ is going to have to mind his P's and Q's, as he always does there, Humble, up against a dangerous Josh Ray in these positions.
Yeah, 100%. GSP has obviously got the advantage on top here, but Josh Ray is no slouch. He works with the likes of Judo Demon. He works with the likes of Pablo. He's got a Jiu-Jitsu Leadbitter. He's got all these guys to kind of work off who are fantastic grapplers, and when they want to be number one or number two in the world at times. So he's got these kind of pedigree to kind of grapple with. So he's no slouch on the ground as well. This is going to be an interesting matchup, but are we going to see the exact performance that we've seen in the real fight from GSP right now, and kind of taking his opponent down, picking him apart and trying to get some damage off, and Josh is going to try and stand up right now?
That's one of the things as well, right? Just to draw it back. Josh Ray obviously training with the best. That's going to build confidence in himself, and he's going to need that confidence because Styles, you've got to think of where that guy's confidence is on the game, period. Being undefeated in ESFL for 2 seasons, being undefeated in primetime for the same period of time, is absolutely massive for him, and he's got to feel that he's going to be comfortable no matter where the fight goes, as he just slices across into top mount beautifully there.
Yeah, the biggest problem for Styles, I believe, especially with the ground and pound and stuff, is the stamina. You got to be careful of kind of blocking, slipping strikes, etc., and getting turned over like that, because now you've got a very good Josh Ray with a very good Nick Diaz on top of you, and he's going to try and test your stamina as he blocks something there. And is he going to try and get up? He passes Tim out, and this is what I mean. He's no slouch on the ground. He will try and grapple you, and he will try and submit you as well.
I actually think this was a vital. Humble. I think it was absolutely vital. A lot of people chooses to disengage, and that will just set him up for another takedown attempt, but reversing it, getting damage of your own, saying you do not want to be in this position with me. I mean, it just changes the entire trajectory and game plan for your opponent.
And this is exactly what KIA do. This is exactly what's in our camp. You can't be bad on the ground in our camp because you're fighting the likes of Judo, you're fighting the likes of Ledbetter, you're fighting all these guys that are fantastic, like Josh Ray and KIA Ben, who can submit you at any moment. And you've got to hold your own in these areas. And if you don't, you know, it becomes a problem. And look at this, Josh Ray going for the submission. He's confident in his ability right now to go for the submission. I don't know if he's going to get it, but it is a great attempt at the moment. But it looks like GSP might escape.
Yeah, looks like not a lot of time left on the clock either. The round does end, but a very, very interesting opening round. I mean, Josh Ray saying, look, I'm here to stay. Take me down at your own peril. Obviously, Styles, I don't imagine he's going to be massively dissuaded, but that didn't exactly go the way you would imagine, or that he would have envisioned, I should say.
He had a good first 2 minutes of the round, or 3 minutes of the round, but then obviously the turn is a big momental sweep. Then the submission at the end, the experience of Josh Ray to know how to kind of win those rounds and trying to win those rounds. Maybe he didn't, but he definitely tried to, going for a submission attempt right now. But now they're both slugging it out on the feet, and it looks like Dave's going to try and see what he's about on the feet. As I say that, he goes for the single leg, takes him down, the ankle pick, sorry, takes him down. Now he's in side control.
Yes, sir. He was previously from that elk of people. BFAP was the camp built for ankle picking, if you didn't know. Got the ankle pick in the start of the second round, and yeah, no, that was beautiful for him. He does his best work when he's in top, bro, and well, if he gets you down, gets in that top control position, doesn't really matter where it is, it can put you in some really precarious positions. And, you know, interesting to note, he got reversed, right, in the first round, so he's probably going to be a lot more cautious about the ground and pound that he gets from these postured positions, as obviously he doesn't want to get reversed again there.
Yeah, so ground and pound as well early that first round. So I'm wondering if Styles is going to try and open up and try and land some big ground and pound of his own, or he's going to try and keep it, as Josh gets full grappling advantage there, but still can't get the sweep on Styles.
And that just goes to show you the lights out, cracked out reactions of TD Styles, EK Styles, I should say. This man's ability on the ground is absolutely terrifying. Doctor Who, the Damian Maya Main, has said it time and time again in this commentary booth. It's like emotional abuse when you hit the mat.
Interesting. Obviously, there's another way you can kind of fight that ground and pound and the control, because there's only a small amount of damage coming from that, Cyrus. You can go for submission attempts, which weigh heavily towards the judges. Look at this. Oh my God, it's close.
He got the slam as well, so that's going to be massive for him. Once you get past that 25% marker, the actual submission offense goes up a lot. The escape does look like it may be there, but it's going to be...
as well. I mean, it's got to throw caution to the window. Like, Styles has got to look at this right now and say, wait, I've had 2 close submission attempts. You know, I didn't have bad stamina in either of those submission attempts. Josh Ray is going to be a problem on the ground, and if I slip up at one point in this, I could potentially get submitted. So maybe he will change his game plan, maybe he'll keep it the same, but he's got to be wary right now going forward.
He really, really does not want to find himself in a position after a denial where a submission gets thrown up. But with him being the absolute veteran that he is, we know that EK Styles is going to be tuned in for that. He's probably not going to put himself in a low stand position. Although the ground and pound, man, it's great because it gets the damage off, but that is one quick way to get yourself a submission synced up after the posture down, should Josh Ray be able to get one of those sunk in. But not a lot of time, so he's going to let loose with them there, Humble, trying to get the damage off to head into that third round.
A great round. This is a very reminiscent fight to the actual GSP versus Nick Diaz fight and how it's going. These guys are like simming this to the maximum. Nick Diaz had an off look. You can see it right there as one of the highlights. The most offensive thing in that, apart from the ground apart at the end, was that submission. But I do believe that GSP took that round with ground and pound and kind of the control time alone. But Josh Ray needs to kind of turn that position. He needs to make sure that he can get on top of Styles. That he can't let Styles kind of lay on top of him.
Completely right. Is he able to stop this next takedown? He is not. That's a massive moment for Styles. Once again, that takedown defense not really on point for Josh Ray this evening, although he has done lots of great work once he hits the mat. Just like that, Humble getting the reversal. Big moment for your campmate.
Yeah, we get to see what Josh Ray is about now on the ground. Can he, or even Styles on his back? Can Styles get the reversal? Can he do what Josh did to him in the first round, or is he going to end up having another round just like Josh had in the last one, but Josh denies that one right there? This is a tactical war right now on the ground, and both guys are ready for it. They're very, very good stylistic little match right now. I like this one.
Going very, very well for both gentlemen. The champion has had the fair share of dominant top control, although has had submissions coming his way from Josh Ray. Now finds himself on bottom with 3 minutes. I was going to say with 3 minutes to work, but he didn't use those 3 minutes on bomb, bro. He took his back nice and cleanly. RNC not available for the champion, so likely going to be using this to get across into top mount, or even the armbar if GSP has it.
I'm not sure if he does, but obviously it limits your options. Obviously, when you take away the choke, because then you know you have to go for that top man position, so you can kind of rely and block on that one. But they roll back to full guard, and we're in the same position we were in the last round. Very frustrating for Josh Ray at the moment. He needs to kind of mix it up and kind of do some sort of reversal right now, in order to win this round, or he might potentially be 2, maybe 3 rounds down. He's got to do something to try and win this round, do some damage or do a reversal. But that's where the problems come, Cyrus. That's where the issue comes. Any sort of urgency, any sort of desperation can get you finished by Styles. Is such a high level competitor. He's waiting for that.
Yeah, he will take full advantage of absolutely any opportunity you give them, man. Obviously, when he finds himself in this side control position in particular, he is incredibly dangerous, although it's not as OP as it once was. The side control, he just does such beautiful work there to the body, to the head. Definitely have to watch everything that you do. But Josh Ray, honestly, is showing great composure there, Humble. I mean, obviously showing the fact that he's worked with such high-level people, from KIA and obviously people outside of the camp. It really, really shows. A lot of people would be crumbling in these positions.
Yeah, you get used to it. You get used to being put in these positions. You have to kind of get used to it. You can tell how good Styles is. He's so patient. That's kind of the biggest test right now, is the patience. The patience of a character. Like, a lot of people in this game are not very patient people. If you fight somebody like Young Paul, like I was talking about earlier on, he'll pick you apart on the feet until you make a mistake and then finish you on the feet. Same with Easy E, same with Ed Parker. Them sort of characters that just pick and prod and prod and pick until you start overexerting, and they'll pick you apart. And then you get people like Styles, who on the ground will do the exact same thing. Jiu-Jitsu is very, very similar. He doesn't compete much anymore, but he used to hold people in side control until they used to panic. And when they panicked, that was it. Elbows were raining down on you and denials, and you felt trapped, you felt claustrophobic. But Josh Ray's ready for this. He's been training with all these type of people, but he needs to do some damage. I believe it's 2-1 to GSP right now. He needs to win this round at least to going forward to the 5th round, and we're about to see in this championship fight that has lived up to it, Cyrus.
It really, really has, my man. I was always excited when when the decision was made, I should say, to put both championship events on this card. Knew that it was going to add to it quite massively. There's the takedown defense, and in the 4th round, that's confidence building to the maximum effect for Josh Ray, although he does need to stop the next one, which he does, Humble.
I believe there should be a bigger tax drain on the person going for them takedowns when you do get a drain for them. But yeah, he's doing a fantastic job of draining them. But you go left, you go right, eventually you're going to get one. Styles goes right and gets that, just mixes up his pattern right there. Because Josh Ray had to move forward. He has to try and win this round. He has to try and press with Nick Diaz, and he walks straight into a turning takedown again. But yeah, great work for Josh. Is he going to go for another submission attempt? Because he did land a lot of striking on Styles right there, so he needs to neutralize the offense of Styles on the ground right now to even have a chance of winning this round.
He really does. Like I said, he had an opportunity for the a submission right there, but Styles all over it. Like I said, it's so difficult up against the grappling prowess of EK Styles. He's just all over the threats that are coming his way, and a lot of the times, even when you get moments of success, it's because he's just decided that was the lesser of the two evils. so he was deciding to camp out maybe another potential opportunity that was coming your way. So it can be really, really tough up against a, like you say, patient competitor, but also a very, very highly educated one that really, really knows how to take the fight into deeper waters and just accumulate little tic-tac, points in his favor across those rounds. Josh Ray, though, once again, doing all of the right things to maintain his stamina, to mitigate the damage coming his way, Humble, and a decent amount of time left for him to work.
Yeah, 100%. He gets the turn right there, though, and this is where he needs to really exert himself. And he's going for the, is it the go-go or is it the armbar? The armbar right now.
Yes, sir.
And another offensive submission. Is this going to be a close one, though? I don't know with the stamina right there, but he has had a couple of close attempts.
It actually is. This is really close. This might be the closest one of them all so far. The early going, he's tracing him very, very well. Looks like Styles maybe.
Very, very close, you're right, but at the same time, I mean, Josh Ray's done this to me before where I thought I'm getting out, and you'd see a slight bit of panic right there come from Styles, which is going to help Josh Ray. He's going to get the punches. Is this going to help him? I'm thinking he's going to escape. He does. But what are the judges going to weigh in this round? Are they going to weigh the 10, 11 strikes from the ground and pounder, but are they going to weigh the striking at the start? Are they going to weigh the submission? This is a massive question. It could be 2-2 going into the fifth. I don't know who's winning this right. That's basically what I'm saying to you, Cyrus.
Yeah, I got you, brother. About the same here. It's a very closely contested bout. If I had to pick somebody leading, I would pick Styles, but you're absolutely right. It could be 2-2 going into the fifth and final round. Just due to the submissions that have been going the way of Josh Ray, especially when he's got the opportunity on the ground, they add up to a lot, and a lot of people sleep on them. They don't think it does a lot in the eyes of the judges, but it quite honestly does.
Yeah, 100%. I was going to say the same thing. That it's especially when you get through a certain amount of bars, right? When you get to a point of the takedown, that's the most important part about that. But Josh Ray, he needs to stop this takedown attempt, and he gets the sweep. Interesting. This round could be crucial to decide who's going to be the champion of Primetime. This has been an absolute technical masterclass from both guys. What a fight we have on our hands right now, Cyrus. Going to the third minute of the fifth round.
Yes, sir. I mean, these guys both showing that they deserve to be in this spot. I mean, there was never any doubt, of course, to be honest with you, from Styles or from, the champion Styles or from the interim champion in Josh Ray. Both guys have shown time and time again to be the highest level of competitors. Back and forth action. Fifth and final round. 3 minutes exactly left on the clock, and these guys need to put the cherry on top of their performance to get the judges to nod in their favor. If they can't take their opponent out, which at this stage, I'll be honest with you, I think it's just going to be a back and forth. Both guys so defensively cognizant, they're humble. It's going to be hard to get a finish unless there's a silky smooth submission that comes up, or if we get some separation back on the feet.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see Styles manage to stay on top right now. It looks like he's gone from risk management right now, and he's trying his best to just contain the position and try and see out this round. But Josh has got a few options here. He's in half guard, which isn't the worst position, but he's relying on the ground and pound so far to get the sweeps instead of the get-ups. And there we go. As I say, it happens, and Josh Ray now needs to do some damage or a submission attempt, and that's exactly what we get. Both guys have got barely any stamina, and this is a high-level submission to the armbar from side saddle. Oh, this is close. This is super close. The submission bar is going up. This is not banned submission, is it?
I actually don't know. We'll get word from the back if it is, brother. We'll get word in the back if it is.
It looks like he's going to get it. Josh Ray is going to become the new champion. Josh Ray is flying ahead with it. Josh Ray has sealed the deal. He's going to become the new champion with an armbar. Oh my God. Holy crap. Josh Ray becomes the new champion, Cyrus. Holy moly.
That is absolutely crazy. I'm just waiting on word from the back to make sure that that's all a banter, but I don't think it is. I could be wrong. I don't play the game personally anymore, Humble, so you're going to have to forgive me. But
I'm going to have to say it. I'm going to have to say it till we're corrected otherwise. And new primetime champion of the PlayStation division, Josh Ray, gets the finish in the fifth round with the armbar from side saddle. Incredible performance from both guys, but Josh gets it done until we get told otherwise. But yeah, wow.
I mean, if that's the case, bro, that was a phenomenal fight so much. I mean, look at that, brother. Look at that. And that was actually a big come around for him. 39-37? Yeah, I didn't see that, bro. I didn't see him 39-37, but
one judge had it similar. Like I said, it's one of those things of like what type of thing does the judge score? Does he score the control, the damage, etc. towards the submissions? We don't know, and that's why it's such a question mark. And we see one judge kind of swayed to the other judges saying, nah, the control kind of mattered. And that's real life. That's what you get in the actual... You can't leave it to the judges. But Josh
it's not banned, bro. It's not banned. He is new. Josh Ray, commiserations to the eternal champion in styles, like I said, undefeated in maybe 4 years between ESFL and obviously Primetime MMA, but Josh Ray getting the goddamn thing done this evening, Humble. Gotta be proud of your campmate there.
PrimeTime are going to hear it here for me probably for the first time, but we've heard this plenty of times across the thingy. KIA, baby. Amazing work from Josh Ray there, putting our camp on the map as always. A fantastic competitor. I love that guy a bit. Amazing work. And I know there's big things, big title defenses to come from Josh Ray. He's going to put this PlayStation roster on notice as we move into the main event of this evening. I'll give it to Cyrus to take away. The Xbox division has got a treat on the hands right now.
That they do, young sir. We have the current reigning champion BSDT Drivers currently stepping up against the eternal challenger, the man that has been honestly making it difficult for anybody else to get a shot up in that top end of the roster, you know, just constantly putting on absolutely killer streaks in TD Fadinator. These guys fighting in welterweight. It is a Kamaru Usman mirror match over there, Mr. Humbledink. Before we actually get into this fight, we will switch across to the main graphic. Like you can see, Kamaru Usman mirror match, T Drivers, Fadinator. If you've been around the competitive scene for any length of time, watched ESFL, watched Primetime MMA as well as many others, you'll know that the levels of skill that are going to be on display between these two gentlemen are going to be at its all-time highest. Just before we head into this one, these guys are taking a couple of extra seconds to cut some weight. We will be back with you within 30 seconds to get this main event underway. Do not go anywhere. Make sure to hit that follow button if you haven't already. What is going on, guys? We are back at it. Apologies on the very, very short delay right there, but as we said moments ago, main event is due to go underway any second. TD Fadinator trying to get the thing done for the Dons, becoming the first primetime champion if he's able to get through the current reigning champion in BSDT Drivers. This man is shown to be an absolute savage in the cage, acquiring that belt up against KM just in a crazy way, a first-round blowout there, Humble. So I cannot wait to get this one going, see who's able to stay and still in this main event.
And why we say that, get your predictions in right now, guys. We restarted it. Get your predictions in. You've got about a minute to do that, maybe 50 seconds. So if you want to predict, you got to do it right now. And thank you to Blue Smoke for the tier 1 subscription. It does help us massively. We appreciate you for supporting PrimeTime MMA. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this as we move forward. Usman versus Usman. Here we go. The main event is this evening. Primetime 34. This is going to be a banger.
Yes, sir. Starting out, touch of gloves. Looks like Fadinator in the red corner, trying to take center stage, trying to lead the dance a little bit. Playing footsies, backing up, seeing what T-Drivers is going to bring to the table. The champion eating a couple of shots, going to the body was Fadinator. That's a great remedy for success. But there's the overhand.
Oh, you that combination. That's a beautiful way. He slips it and throws the lead overhand, which comes out super fast when you do slip a strike. Amazing work. Hits him with the right hook as well on the exit. Beautiful, beautiful counter there. Amazing work.
Really, really was. That is why the champ is the champ. He will take your head off at a moment's notice. You have to mind all of the P's and Q's, as I say time and time again. Fadinator is a guy that fights very technically, looks to take the fight into shorter, or into later rounds, I should say, if he can. But, you know, he has to be dangerous of the T-Drivers onslaught that will come his way if he gets given the opportunity.
Oh, axe kick right there. I completely forgot Usman had that. And it's one of them secret weapons that he kind of has that you don't expect him to kind of throw, which he threw against Kobe Covington, believe it or not. But yeah, great work right now from both guys. But Drivers is landing certain combinations to the body. He's been real decisive with his shots right now. 77% of the people voted as well. The chat voted for Drivers to win this fight, which is really interesting considering the record. So this is going to be a war. This is a technical war, just like we seen last time, a technical ground fight with technical war on the feet, and probably some MMA mixed martial arts involved in that as well, with the ground and clinch.
Yeah, you've got to imagine so, especially with the Kamaru Usman picks. Both guys have shown that they are not opposed to getting the work done on the ground given the opportunity. Nice knees on the inside. I was going to say for Kamaru Usman, but TD Fadinator would be the better description. Both guys going back and forth, and I think that honestly this bodywork from Fad could play a massive factor should they get into the second, third, or even the championships round there, Humble. What would you like to see out of the champion right now to mix this up? Do you think a takedown should be on the scorecards this early in the first round?
I mean, I'm enjoying exactly what both guys are doing right now. But yeah, you're completely right. It's mixed martial arts, maybe an axe kick. But yeah, both of these guys have just got to do exactly what they're kind of doing, but maybe mixing some other strikes. We talk about when you go for the takedowns, you go for the clinch, the rest of the game opens up. But you know, Usman's great off his back, he's great on top as well, but he's devastating with that ground and pound.
That he most certainly is, brother. Taking the moment here just to give another big shout out to Blue Smoke, 2 gifted subs for the channel. The man showing incredible levels of support. We appreciate you greatly, as we do each and every other one of you viewing and competing in tonight's event. Being barn burner of an event there, Humble, and the main event is already living up to all the action as they continue to swing on each other to close out the first.
It's the teak I'm noticing, hugely the body work that Fadinator is going for every single time he gets him to kind of to block up, kind of make sure his guard's up. He goes to that body with that TP, damages him really low, but he's got a really good recovery right there. But if he continues to do this throughout the fight, T-Drivers is not going to have a great stamina leading into the third, the fourth, the fifth if it lasts that long. So he's got to do something to really deal with that teep, deal with the knees that are coming at him at the moment.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, whether that be catching them, which can be a little bit tough to do on the teeps and the knees, or just trying to get those stutter steps off. Definitely needs something to remedy that forward pressure, that teep, that knee that's coming his way, because it is adding up. You can see the stamina advantage in the side of the challenger starting to stack up already in the second round, but then another big rock from the champ, and this is where he gets his best work done. Smells blood, raining up with some ground and pound to try and close out this show, but the defense holds true for Fadinator, Humble. That was what he needed to change the course of the fight. Great moment for him, decides to posture up and then posture down, doesn't want to give away the position, taking some opportunities to link up the top control after a big moment from the champion. If he can hold him down here for 3 minutes and get off some good work, maybe that's enough to equalize out the work that has been done. However, you know, obviously the champion just looking so good when he gets the opportunity to rip those combinations. Each one of them seems to do incredible amounts of damage and really are starting to stack up in terms of the chin of TD Fadinator. Not too many of those can continue to be taken, you've got to imagine.
Yeah, he held on by the skin of his teeth right then. I try to say it, but I keep muting my mic because I keep coughing. I do believe I've got COVID. I do apologise to everyone. But yeah, T-Drivers caught him and Fadinator held on by the skin of his teeth and then got that amazing dodge out the way. You see it a few times with these great players. You've got to be careful with them when you're going for that. And look at this reversal right now. I do not know who is who. They've both got the same shorts on. They're both thingy, but the blue gloves TJ Drivers. So TJ Drivers is on his back right now. Fadinator's on top, I believe.
That's correct.
Yeah, and Fadinator's done a fantastic job to kind of stay in this fight, and look at the stamina advantage he has right now.
Yeah, it's really stacking up, and look at him going to the knees, to the body in the side control position, just making it that little bit harder for the champion to get out of it. Obviously was able to do so momentarily, but straight back into it is Fad, continuing to work some of those shots, trying to hold on to these positions and just making it very uncomfortable for the champion, trying to drain away all confidence, you know, all kind of motivation he has in this fight, now raining down ground and pound. But so far so good. The mitigation of damage has been on point for T-Drivers, although that stamina definitely becoming problematic over the course of this fight.
Yeah, 100%. You weigh up the pros and cons of this round so far. T-Drivers obviously getting that beautiful knockdown and near finish on Fadinator, and the cons so far for T-Drivers is that Fadinator has dominated the rest of the round. As I say that, he gets a beautiful Kimura trap sweep right there, lands him mount, but he only has 1 second left. Beautiful fight. What a fight. Two main events, like I said, the Xbox title and the PlayStation title. The PlayStation title was an absolute barn burner, amazing technical masterclass on the ground, and then this fight so far has been great everywhere. It's been such a high-level contest so far, with everything going crazy, technical everywhere.
Yeah, the scattergunning techniques all over the octagon. Both guys having massive moments of success. T-Drivers now trying to answer back with some knees of his own as Usman in the hands of TD Fadinator, starting to go together with the boxing combinations, but walks onto it humble. I mean,
strikes. Oh, axe kick.
T-Drivers just seems to have a knack for landing big damaging combinations as Fad walks onto them, and that could be the remedy to his victory, the remedy to success for his victory, the keys to success, I should say. These guys absolutely banging in the pocket, but once again, that straight is just money for Drivers.
The question is Fadinator going to make an adjustment right there and kind of... He does it where he keeps walking forward. He's taking no steps back. He's not using the movement to kind of go in and out. He's just kind of hunting down his opponent and walking. But I say that, and he catches his opponent to the body, to the head. He drops him against the fence. He's going to have a big opportunity right now to do some more damage. Yeah. Just like I said to you before, against that fence, it adds so much damage. Fadinator now is going to that body, which is killing that stamina. So advantageous position right now as he takes that back, Cyrus.
Yeah, really capitalizing on moments of success is TD Fadinator when he gets his opponent hurt, whether it be the head or the body. He does not discriminate, making sure his opponent is hesitant to know where to block, whether it be high or low, just everything coming at him from all sorts of angles. And then just when you think that you've survived that onslaught, your opponent drags you to the ground humble and now looks to work these short shots from postured positions and continue to stack up on a very deceiving lead that he's starting to accumulate in terms of the stamina.
Yeah, 100%. It's disheartening as well from TJ Driver's perspective when you keep hurting your opponent. He's just still in your face. He's still taking you down. He's winning majority of the positions and the control time, etc. And especially when he knocks you down later on after you've hurt him, it sets you back so much, especially when you see that stamina dwindling. It just keeps going down. He's landing them teeps to the body. You know that you're going to have to deal with him with less stamina, and it's going to be difficult. So, for me, TJ Drivers needs to make some adjustments. Maybe he can get a finish from one of them ground and pounds, but at the moment he's getting rolled.
I don't know what that scramble was there, mate, but that... yeah, right now T-Drivers needs what he had earlier on, which is that picture perfect opportunity, just like that, brother, just like that, but for something for it to connect so that he can follow up with that killer instinct he's shown to have time and time again, working the jab quite nicely, popping at the block of Fadinator, trying to look for one of those blistering combinations in the close of this third round. It's been a pretty crazy fight, my man. I think we got Fad being the more technical technical of the two, but, you know, T Drivers showing that championship mentality, getting big damage off anytime he's had the opportunity right there.
Yeah, 100%, and that's where you kind of win them rounds. But obviously, Fadinator kind of dominated that one with a rock in each hand and also controlling the position. It's if he can continue doing that without getting dropped. And Danny Callahan said it perfectly in the chat. Fad's wrestling looks great, not going to lie. 100% Fad's wrestling looks on point, and he's doing some extra damage to that stamina. He's chipping away, as we talked about earlier when we said it's not going to look good in the fourth and the fifth round. It's looking a bit worse. So we're right now, and TJ Drivers is getting caught left, right, and centre with uppercuts and big shots coming at his way, Cyrus.
Yeah, it's been incredible to see the work that T Drivers has been able to do in terms of the damage he's been able to output, especially when you consider the adversity he's experiencing with this pressure, with the takedowns that have come his way, and now the damage adding up to the head health.
He dropped him. No, he doesn't. Oh my god, I thought he was gone there. He did a great job of just getting out the way, and now TJ Drivers gets his opponent down, kicks the leg from under him. Oh wow, what a fight we have right now. Amazing work. And a quick shout out to Blue Smoke, our Modelo man of the moment tonight, donating some biddies and giving us loads of different giving out subscriptions, etc. Amazing. Thank you so much for your contributions, brother. This fight's been incredible. Usman goes back to the body, knocks him out, he goes to the head.
New TD Fadinator doing the Dons proud, getting a massive knockout humble to close out the main event of the evening.
Wow, what a card we just had. What a card, and what a finish that was from Fadinator. Great performance. Picked away, chipped away his opponent, went to the body, did the work early, invested money in the bank, as we like to call it, invested with them teeps to the body. He dominated when he was on the ground, and when he was in trouble, when he was in adversity, he kept calm, Cyrus. He kept calm. He knew that eventually he was going to have his moments, and his moments he had.
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely vital to stay composed in those later positions. Fadinator did not get dissuaded from the game plan of this evening, which was to take the fight into the later rounds, work your game and pick them apart over the course of the 25. Only took about 20 odd for him to get the job done. Massive, massive props. New champion is Kamaru Usman, or TD Fadinator, as I should say, the first champion from the... I was going to say the first champion, sorry. Styles was previously the Dons as well, but first champion, I believe, on the Xbox side of things, nevertheless. Big W for that man. I'm interested to see where he goes from here. This now... Humble is we're going to be taking this was the end of our seasons for Xbox and PlayStation side of things. If you didn't know already, we have some announcements that are coming your way in the Discord. Make sure your notifications are on to hear all about that. But end of the seasons are now. There will be a short break before we come back of 1 to 2 weeks, just to let everybody reset, that the staff get a little bit of a recharge. Like I said, announcements will be coming very, very shortly. Fadinator's going to have to go back to the lab. I have heard rumors, just rumors there, Humble, that the pound for pound GOAT may be making a return to Primetime MMA. EK Trixie may be coming back looking to challenge for that belt once again. And with a performance like that, Fadinator looks like he may have made the adjustments necessary to get the job done. Who knows? And that would be an incredible match that we would love to put together, my man.
Well, is Swift Tricks in the chat? Is that actually Trixie?
That Swift Tricks? I should be, yes, brother. Yeah.
Well, he's just said, I'm coming for you, Fad. So maybe them rumors are absolutely true, because Swift Tricks is literally just said in the chat, I'm coming for you, Fad. So I don't see why that fight shouldn't be set up. Let's get Swift Tricks versus Fadinator in there. We've got Simple Benny with some beef in there as well. I'd love to see Simple Benny versus the loser of that fight, TJ Drivers. I think that'd be a great fight. I don't like to make matchups on the day. Obviously, we do the matchmaking, the guys do it there, but them two fantastic fights that would set us off into the sunset before we come back for the new season. But thank you so much for everyone who joined us. There was over 50, 60 people. Thank you to the ESFL. Thank you to my man Cyrus, who co-commentated that with me. It was a great event, and all the competitors. Who are we going to raid, Cyrus? That's the question.
Yeah, we're going to push some love forward. I think that I just saw Bruce Lee Rob going live, so I think we're going to push it over to that man right there. Show some love to the mighty commentator from ESFL, who has said some really kind works about Primetime MMA recently. Always love the content he puts on, so make sure to stick about for the raid. Join in if you haven't got it automatically subscribed. We will see you in the next one, but from myself, Mr. Humbledink, all the guys at Primetime MMA, it has been an absolute pleasure, my guys. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you in the next one.